Hello, everybody! Welcome back. We're here again.
Hello!
We're back.
We're not insulting you straight off the bat this stream.
No,
We're gonna try and keep it
Do that
PG
next
as
week.
long as possible.
Yeah, I mean, I think we need to clear that up. That she actually wasn't insulting chat. We do have a little ritual before we start a stream, generally, where we just basically all swear at each other.
Well,
For
swearing to
a
each
good
other.
30 seconds.
Is it just me
Do we?
swearing?
I missed that memo.
Well, we didn't do it today actually because we were actually talking about stuff to do with tonight's game,
Well, I got a few swear words in.
which might just be bad luck, and we might, they could have jinxed the whole thing.
I got
Should
some
be
words
worried
in.
now, shouldn't we? Yeah.
But yes, if ever you fancy joining us, you'll be part of this ritual. It's all exclusive and inclusive at the same time. You get offended and you feel part of the group. So yeah, welcome back. It's Blades in the Dark.
Yes.
Yeah. Is this the last one before it moves over to the Fridays?
Yes. I'm gonna say yes. I have no idea.
Yes.
And
Yes.
So it's not. Now, I've got to be careful here because you'll all take me the wrong way. It is not the last time you will see Blades in the Dark on this channel. It is the last time you'll see it on a Saturday. So yeah. So if you've missed all of our notifications and you only turn up for the Blades in the Dark, great. But the series that we do here on Twitch is going to be changing. So it's going to be on a Friday, every other Friday. So not next Friday, but the Friday after will be when you see Blades in the Dark come back. And what this will allow is Mutants and Masterminds and D&D will just take the Saturday and they will alternate, which means you will be able to bring you more Dungeons and Dragons, more Mutants and Masterminds, and more Blades in the Dark on a regular basis, which keeps the story going for the players, keeps us involved as the GMs, and brings you as much entertainment as we physically can for you as the viewers. And then every other Friday we will try and get it will either be like a Q&A or a one shot, and then at some point me and Ange, we have got a lot planned for our adventures of me and Ange. We've got loads of books, and we're looking at some actual virtual books and games and that to do, and we're going to try and spruce it up so it's not always Cthulhu. I think we've got some Worlds of Darkness ones lined up already, courtesy of Humble Bundle subscription that I've had for years, and I've realised I've got them, plus some others, and obviously if anyone's got anything that they think would be great for me and Ange to royally cock up, please send us, and we'll give them a bashing at some point. But yeah, so that'll come back, but I think we're not going to put that to the calendar. That'll be pretty much as and when we are available and can have a bit of fun on the weekdays. We'll get them up and running. But that's not all. That's not everything. We've also got some games coming up on IMT that aren't going to be streamed. So Croy runs his own D&D on a Monday. If you're interested and you would like to get involved in that, do send him messages and let him know. Kadari here runs a D&D game on every other Saturday, the same Saturday that you're going to see D&D live on this channel. So some of us are going to go straight from that into another D&D stream straight after it. So it's going to be great.
Double it up, mate. You'll be fine.
Stryan is looking at getting some more Cyberpunk. We may even get him into
Carbon 2185. Sorry.
No, correct me, please. Carbon. We're trying to convince him to make it into a campaign because it is actually good. If you miss that, it will be popping up on our YouTube at some point. I think it's still on the Twitch VOD. Go check that out. If not,
yes,
it will show up on the YouTube
I think it is, yeah.
within the next few weeks. We've actually got quite a bit. Pale is looking at Traveller and trying to get a Traveller campaign up and running, maybe within a month. Over there, Lloyd, y'all know Lloyd, has been here for a while. He's going to be hopefully getting up a Stargate campaign. When Stargate gets released, we're waiting for that. I mean, there is a lot of anticipation on that Stargate book to come out.
To be continued.
Continued. There is also going to be 2 more campaigns that are going to be going up on IMT over the next few weeks, maybe a month, between me and some old pirate. Details are going to be covered up for the time being until we get everything sorted. But if you're interested in any sort of dark or sci-fi stuff, campaigns coming up soon. So yeah, there's a lot going on, and I've also I'll show you this. I got a new delivery today.
This is books, sure.
Look at
Oh,
this.
that's what you bought the other night.
I don't understand.
So if anyone doesn't know what this is Agents of Concordia. Now this was a TTRPG that only went on to Kickstarter 2019, literally right before the COVID pandemic destroyed all hopes of meeting people around a table. And this was on Kickstarter. I was part of it. I didn't buy it at the time. I felt bad about that, so I've now bought it. And it's like a Men in Black sort of Hellboy-ish world, where you can be all sorts. You can even be a donkey with a knife on your arm that just is a support class, and you go around just basically the dog out of Men in Black.
How many arms does a donkey have?
Many as I each side.
Just the one?
Yeah.
Just the one.
I'm gonna have to show you now, aren't I? So you don't all think I'm completely.
Please be careful
Oh,
what you
go.
showed.
Look at that. That's a class you can be.
Okay, so
In
we're
fact,
gonna have
that's
an entire
2.
party of those.
Is that 2 classes?
Yeah,
I'm
No,
sorry.
that's all the different animals.
That's
It's
just
an
one.
idea. That's one class.
Oh, okay.
And it's the
No,
steward
that's an
class.
ass and a class.
So yeah, so this is a very loose and friendly one. So this is probably not going to be a campaign. This is probably going to be a light-hearted little who's up for this weekend sort of thing. There's nothing else on. Who wants to be in? So if you are interested in that or any of the other games, because we have got a lot going on, do get into our Discord. Because that's where we're going to fish for people. We've got a looking for groups thing. We'll post any slots that we've got for those games in there, and obviously we will be advertising those games throughout the Discord. So if you're interested in any of these TTRPGs, please get into our Discord, because we just need more people at this point to get a lot of it going. So if you're interested, yeah. Ange, do you want to give us a quick run of the calendar for the next week or two?
Yeah, can do. Next, we've got Croy's offline D&D on Monday the 15th, February the 15th. Friday 19th is question and answers, which is to be decided. I will decide that tomorrow. I think I've got a day in the house tomorrow. I'm not going anywhere. Though I might go and see Molly for a cup of tea. Just know it yet. Just decided. Walk over there and see Molsey. Then on next Saturday,
Is that on the
we've got-
calendar?
On the calendar, no.
Okay.
Mutants and Masterminds. Yay, I got the name right. Did you hear? I butchered that last night, Andy.
Yes, you did. And can I just say for the record, right? Just to get it out there, it's TheInfinaty.
No, it's
The
not.
Infinati.
Okay? No, it's no RT.
Infinity.
Okay?
Infinity.
It's just TheInfinity. Okay, you just say it normally.
Infinity.
If you want to spell it wrong, we're going to pronounce it wrong.
There's a reason I spell it
Yeah.
wrong. Okay.
I know the reason you spell it wrong, but I'm still going to pronounce it wrong.
And this all started from text to speech.
It did.
This did, and it's annoying.
Oh
Hey,
yeah.
Ron.
So next Saturday, Mutants and Mastermind, ran by the Infinati. And also in the day we have the offline Mysteries of Black Claw. And then maybe not, but hopefully we were looking at World of Darkness on the Sunday. And then we have Friday the 26th, Those Dark Places, sci-fi industrial thing.
Fucking hell.
Yeah.
I mean,
Which
wow.
is brand new, and that was also a Kickstarter from last year.
No, it wasn't a Kickstarter, that one, I don't think.
Oh, well, it was brand new
Sorry.
last year. So
It was-
anyway,
yeah.
Mark got another game. Another one.
I think that's a good thing.
Yeah. And then the following Saturday, 27th, is the back to D&D The Lost Returned, GM'd by our one and only Croy.
Oi.
Then we will literally fall into the bi-weekly Blades, bi-weekly D&D, and Mutants and Mastermind with Heckness Revelia. And after last night, that is fun.
Yeah.
That was
that's
so
what-
much fun last
That
night.
was good.
Yeah, if
Nice.
you weren't here for that stream, it is on the Twitch VOD. Go check that out because that was quite something.
Bonkers.
And then we do have Carbon 2085 is scheduled in also for March. Yeah, woo, woo, woo. So we're quite excited about that.
Yeah.
But yeah,
So we have got a chock-a-block coming up over the next few weeks, and new games starting up. And obviously, if there is any game that we don't have in our libraries, or we do and we're not talking about them, and you want to play them or you want to run them, get in our Discord, let us know, and we'll have a look at them. And honestly, because we don't want to be stuck on the same games. You know, this channel is to open and explore all sorts of games, be it the new or be it really old stuff. I think we're up for a laugh no matter what it is. So yeah, so shout about it. If we're not talking about a game that you like, shout about it, and we will. If enough people shout about it, we'll get it on. We'll learn it. Mark will buy the book. I'll buy the book. Kadari probably already owns the book.
stop making him buy books.
We need a big collection.
I mean, maybe we should just fill out a category with RPGs from like the 80s and 90s, in which case he doesn't need to buy the book.
He's got. I mean, if you want James Bond, I think he's got every James Bond RPG book going. And
I didn't know there was a James Bond RPG.
Yeah, that sounds
Oh,
fun.
come on.
God, he must have
I thought it was
about
just
10
fun.
books, 10 or more books of RPG and Star Trek.
Yeah.
I know that's the original.
Original
Well, not the
Star
original.
Trek.
Faster version, of course.
Yeah.
Does the Spycraft count?
Spycraft. That does count. Although that was kind of re-released recently, wasn't it?
I have
Half
no
the
idea.
chat will know
I've only
what this
played
is.
the one
The other
version.
half will probably won't have an idea.
It's like Warcraft
Outsea.
with spies.
Oh,
It
yeah.
will open your character sheet as well. But
So yeah, I think we've babbled on long enough for everyone to get a grip of what on earth we're doing in our little group here. So without further ado, we are going to continue with our Blades campaign. So handing over to some old pirate to take us away.
merci beaucoup. Our little crew, we finally found a name that was donated to us by Lloyd. And they're collectively known now as the River Ghosts, a group of shadows, daring thieves and scoundrels in the city of Duskwall, the industrial steampunk city of Duskwall. And they've just completed their first score, which went quite well, I think. It was all right, wasn't it?
Yes.
You've all survived. There wasn't
Only
any,
one
We
person
succeeded.
died.
Yeah, only one death, but it wasn't any of the crew, which is
It was technically gravity induced.
Yes,
I mean,
I agree.
He eventually fell off a building.
And you returned and got yourself some money from your employer. Then you indulged your vices, which some of them were very, very strange indeed. And one of them did involve somebody having the living shit kicked out of them as well. At one point. And so I think we're going to kind of join the game just after these events have taken place. But no, actually, no, we can't. Sorry. Of course, if you want to start an exciting tabletop role-playing game stream, you have to start with a bit of bookkeeping. Because nothing says exciting role-playing games and stories than a bit of accounting.
Strong start.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Everyone, load up Excel to page 3.
Here we go.
Get your scientific calculators out. Set them to tan 64. Get ready.
Yeah. So we're going to quickly run
You
through
wouldn't
the
get that.
experience. Experience points. Is that because I'm not? Is that an old joke or is it a colour joke? Just
And isn't that a symbol on a calculator?
If I remember correctly, it was how you used to get into the graph mode of the calculator to start
It's
showing
a graph
graphs.
mode on a calculator?
On scientific
Graphic calculator.
calculators, yeah, you could do formulas and then press a sequence and it would actually display the graph for you.
Yeah.
you see, Infinite Monkey Tales, educational as well as entertaining.
Yeah. For everyone else, the answer is 2.
And you probably had the abacus. It was probably a bit different.
Oh yeah, fighter.
Jeez.
Okay, so before Ange kills me.
Ah.
Sorry, you're muted.
Anyway, if you just cut back to the last Blades in the Dark stream that we did, cut back to the VOD, just for the first few seconds, that's probably what Angela has just said to Andy right now. Even though she's muted. So, what we're going to do, we're going to quickly go. You have earned XP for doing this particular score that you did last time. And XP is great because with great XP comes great
Responsibilities.
No, it's not. No, it's not how it works. That didn't go quite as I was
it's not
expecting. So let's ignore that. We'll go straight on. Who's going to go first? Who wants to kind of work their way through this? Because we're going to do each one of
I'll
you
go first.
very, very quickly,
Yeah.
and then we will do the crew after that. It shouldn't take long. Don't go away.
Yeah. I'll go first.
And basically, it's just going to boil down to just a few questions I'm going to ask you, Croy, about your character and what he did during the last couple of games. So, as a cutter, did you address a challenge with violence or coercion?
Yes, I did. I drew my
think
sword.
You certainly did. I think
And
you
I
did. I
Put it
think
to the throat of individual in order
You
to
did.
extract some possessions from his purse.
You can,
Yep.
you definitely get one experience point for that. Did you do it more than once? Did you threaten or coerce or bully or intimidate anybody? Or
I mean, I
even
tried it
kill?
on my own crew, but I don't think it really counts for that.
You get to
So-
decide whether it counts.
Yeah, I don't think. I
Yeah.
mean,
So this is where it's like he just like, hold up, be right back, runs out, threatens a random peasant on the street. Be like, look, now I get 2 XP.
so it's I mean, I tried to grab one of my teammates and drag them down the stairs, and she wasn't very pleased about that.
Okay.
And jumped out
Do
the
you-
window.
Is that? Do you want to count that?
Not really.
You sure?
But I'm happy. What I can't remember is where do we actually enter the XP?
You know where it says abilities on your character sheet? Just to
Mhm.
the right of that, you got those flashes.
Got you.
You
Yeah.
Just fill them in there. Okay.
Okay, so I got one for I got one definitely. Just use some sword.
Did you express your beliefs, drives, heritage, or background at all during the last few games?
Now I've played Blades in the Dark before, and I
You
know
have.
this counts for XP, and I always try to get at least something in, but I
Yep.
cannot remember if I did or not. So I am going to.
We just want to assume. We just want to
well,
assume that you
no,
did.
I don't want to just assume that I did. I'm gonna forgo that, and I'm gonna make notes. I'm gonna make notes this time
Okay, sure. Did you struggle with issues or from your vice traumas during the session? Now nobody's got traumas, so it wouldn't be
Not
that.
yet. No, the vice. It's nothing. Nothing's hit me from that yet.
Sure. Okay. So that's that. You done then? Who's next?
I could go next.
Okay.
Let's do Whisper playbook.
You are the Whisper. Did you address your
Yes.
challenge with knowledge or arcane power?
Yes. I banished the ghost.
You did. Did you do it more than once? Did you use your knowledge or arcane power?
I don't believe so. I think most of my other stuff was sort of gang related rather than like, study or
Okay.
power related.
Okay. Did you express your beliefs, drives, heritage, or background at all?
Kind of, because he's been trying to make a name for himself. So he was trying to get some rep with the
The Dimmer system.
oh, what's the ones we just talked about?
Dimmer
The
sisters,
Dimmer sisters and also what's it? Ashton's
Lamplax.
bow, the Lamplax.
Ashton.
That's the ones.
Yes. Yeah.
I keep forgetting their names because
Okay.
I was trying to get some rep with them with the red stashes stuff
Okay.
to leave at the heist scene.
Okay.
So
You want to give yourself an XP point for that?
Yeah.
You get one. You'll get one for your knowledge and arcane power, addressing a challenge.
Yeah, and one for
You
the
get one for the
drive.
yeah.
Yeah.
And did you struggle with issues from your vice or traumas?
I have a trauma, but like it was basically like I think was this a minor RP element at the end where it hasn't actually had a chance to have an effect yet.
A trauma is actually a specific thing in Blades in the Dark.
Yeah.
They're the little so you and I don't
it's
think
a harm.
anybody's got
It's a harm, not a trauma yet. Yeah, it's a harm rather than trauma.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And I didn't overindulge, so nothing
No.
there yet.
alrighty then. Okay, so who's next? Angie Pops. Did Ashlyn, as a slide, did she address a challenge with deception or influence, do you think?
Yes.
She did.
Twice.
Twice. Yeah, so she charmed Basho Baz
Did.
when she visited the Lampblacks, and she also charmed her way into Leitch's house.
Well,
didn't she?
kind of charmed, talked my way
Yeah,
in, dramatic, yeah.
Yes. So you can you want to give yourself an XP point for those? Well, for both of them, you get 2. don't
And,
you?
yeah, and
So-
you add those onto the ability, yeah.
Yep. You express your beliefs, drives, heritage, or background at all?
No.
Not specifically.
Not on this one, no.
You struggle with issues from your vice or traumas? No. Okie dokie. That's it. Done.
Yeah,
Um,
easy, easy.
Yeah. Who's up? Yeah, it's Kaidari or Infinity. Sorry. Infinity.
Hello.
Who's up next?
Go on. Somebody.
Right, you are the hound. You are the sharpshooter, the sniper, the hunter of the group.
Yeah.
Are you not?
I am, yes.
So, did you address a challenge with tracking or violence?
Yes, I did.
You did. I think you were you actually killed somebody.
Did I? I don't remember. Yeah.
Yeah, you did. So yeah, that I think that counts. And also perhaps, I mean, I don't know what you think,
Oh.
but you actually did a bit of a stakeout at the start of the
I did, yeah, I did.
war
I
as well, did you not? Which
I did do a bit of an early stalking and tracking.
yeah, so I mean, you could potentially, if you think that it was enough, you can give yourself. You get an XP point. You get 2 then for that. You get 1 for the murder, 1 for the.
I wouldn't say it was a murder.
Did
Is
you
the person
express?
dead?
A
Well,
person was dead.
Yeah,
yes.
but we don't
Did you-
know whether it was me or the fall off the roof that killed him. So technically, I think it was just a disarmament.
Yeah, it was more basically.
Would he have fallen
perhaps-
off the roof if it wasn't for you?
Possibly, there
was,
was a lot of slippy tiles that day. It's been
That was
raining.
from the guy's own blood, I think, wasn't it? After he'd been torn to pieces. So, Bet, did you express your beliefs, drives, heritage, or background at all during the last 2 sessions? This is a tricky one, I have to admit.
I don't think I did. No.
Right. Did you struggle with issues from your vice or traumas?
No.
Now, you could say no. You did overindulge,
I did overindulge.
but I don't know if that's the kind of thing we can use, because overindulging is quite easy, I think.
Yeah, I wouldn't have thought that was. So no.
No, but it was a good scene. I enjoyed.
Very interesting scene.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's that for you then, sir. And we're off to Kaidari.
Hello.
Hi, you're playing Nicholas Rostov, the lurk, the shadowy thief-like figure that hides in the shadows. Oh, did you address a challenge with stealth or evasion?
Yes.
You certainly did. I would argue that you did it more than once as well, to be honest.
I'd say twice.
Because you evaded the spirit wardens as well at the
Yes.
end of the last session. So you would, I think you've got an argument for 2 XP at least there. Did you express your beliefs, drives, heritage, or background at all? Do you think?
I don't recall doing.
Okay. And did you struggle any issues from your vice or traumas?
Not really.
Yeah, I think we're a bit early for that kind of stuff, aren't we? So. Anyway, that's that done. So you've all got some experience points there, making your way up to your kind of next special ability that you would gain from your class. And then we're going to look at the crew here. You are a group of shadows, professional thieves and spies, able to
So we
sneak
always go wrong.
into places, get information, or assassinate. I don't know about assassins that do that. I think it's
That
thieves,
heat,
spies, and saboteurs.
the heat button gets us every time.
Yeah, and so if somebody wants to open up the crew sheet there, you can fill out the flashes next to crew XP.
Yep.
You are shadows. Did you successfully execute a burglary, espionage, robbery, or sabotage operation?
Yes.
Yeah, I think so. I think that would definitely count for an experience point. Did you contend with challenges above your current station? Now, you wouldn't necessarily have known that, but I'm telling you, you did.
Great.
just about every faction you were dealing with
Yeah.
higher tier than you during that last one.
Technically we got an XP point because someone didn't get the memo.
Yes, yeah, effectively. Did you bolster
Can we
your
stop
crew's
rubbing
reputation?
the wound on that? Okay. we keep going back to this.
Did you bolster your crew's reputation or develop a new one? Anybody? Want to put an argument for that?
I would
Yeah, we would have got our
definitely
reputation up because we did it. So the person that asked us to do it,
We basically
Like,
started
say,
a new contact,
they're
we've
good.
definitely got a reputation now with them.
Yeah.
I would say we've definitely
Yeah.
bolstered our reputation.
Yeah, we have a new contact, and we've
And we're now
yeah.
respected for doing a mediocre job.
It was very low key, wasn't it?
I mean, no one was able to link it to the crime. Anything else that
Yeah,
happened.
that's true. It was.
I mean, is it
Say
illegal?
that, but actually,
I mean, is it illegal
somebody's
for-
character did leave something at the scene.
We spent time reducing heat as well.
You did. You did.
good job. Because I mean, another stealth mission that was really successful.
Oh, are we going for that then? We're having the XP for that one. Express goals drives inner conflict or essential nature of the crew. This is probably a bit early to kind of be looking at this kind of thing right now anyway, because
Yeah.
we're not really
I mean,
probably sure what the essential nature of the crew is, for example.
I don't think we did that.
No. And I guess that's it then. We're done. We can.
What about
The
heat?
bookkeeping is done.
What about heat?
Done.
We did all that last time.
Ah,
Yeah. This is somebody that did get the memo. Anyway,
are we getting one on rep?
all that.
Alright then. Let's read the sheet.
Actually,
shut the
yeah.
sheet down now.
There should have been some rep there, shouldn't there?
Did we get rep?
Not there. 2 points of rep. Yeah, you get
2
that.
points.
Woohoo!
Yeah, we'll go with that.
Yay.
Okay,
Yeah.
right. So we're going to start maybe just probably a day or so after about a day after you're dealing with your traumas, your vices and things like that. And I want to ask Slip first. Slip, are you the kind of person? What do you when you're not with the crew? Because obviously the crew doesn't have anywhere for you to stay. You have your own place somewhere where you sleep. But what does Slip kind of do when he's not with the rest of the crew? What is it? Is he a? I mean, he's not just a. Is he just a thug, or is he? Where does he find out current affairs and things like that? Does he read the newspaper or?
He spends quite a lot of time ensuring that his gear is in good equip. He trains. He spends time keeping his body in good working order. He fixes himself up when necessary. Takes rest. He appreciates the healing of rest as well. He has friends, but tends to keep himself largely to himself unless it's absolutely necessary. He does occasionally do work with other groups. So somewhat a mercenary but it's getting to the point where he recognizes that there's power for taking, and he spends time just quietly sitting in bars and having a drink and watching and listening and talking to people, collecting intel, just figuring out who's to be trusted and who's not to be.
Okay, yeah. So, now there is an inn that's not too far from where your little group is based. It's called the Leaky Bucket. It's just over the river from the docks, and Crowsfoot, I believe. And that's where we're going to catch with Slip. He's sat in this pub, in this bar, and there's a few people kind of milling around. The usual. I imagine this is some place that you've been to on a number of occasions. You recognise the locals that are all kind of sat there. The two old men that are sitting at the bar, talking, making jokes at each other's expense, and just generally gossiping. And you found them to be a useful source of information on occasion. And you're kind of sat in this bar. It's probably about mid-morning, and these guys have already been drinking for a while, and you can hear them talking. And they kind of mention something about the that new inspector. That new inspector, he's apparently he used to be in the cavalry, Imperial Cavalry. Used to be out riding in the Deathlands, and now he's hunting down scum in the city, isn't he? And just making idle conversation like this, and then one of them, your ears prick up when you hear one of them kind of say, "Well, that was what about our business? What about our business over in Six Towers, eh?" And his friend is, there's always weird things going off over in Six Towers. What do you mean? What do you mean? And his friend brings out a newspaper, kind of slaps it on the bar in front of him. And they found 3 bodies in the canal, cut to pieces. They were. Did anybody identify him? He said, "Oh, well, one of them, he was like a local businessman. His name was Leach or something, apparently." Yeah, it was him. And they think the other 2 might have been members of his household or something. Sounds like a nasty business. And maybe, Slip, you kind of think of what your last instruction was to your friend, Garton. Now, you had asked him to go and threaten these people. These very same people, you gather. Do you think he's the kind of person that would have gone a bit further?
Yeah, I mean, he associates with. I associate with Garton because he's of a similar professional bent. He's got that air about him, but he's an assassin.
Yeah.
And he takes jobs to, for the highest kind of pay that he gets. He's always been part of Slip's ability to operate, and he knows he's got his back, so he doesn't immediately think that he did it unless somebody's paid him more, unless somebody coincidentally went to him. That could happen, but he doesn't think that he would have. He doesn't think that he would have misconstrued.
Yeah, I mean,
Slip's
an instruction of something like, go and scare these a little bit.
Yeah. No.
Tell them not to talk. And yeah, what would Slip make of that? I mean, would it bother him? Would he?
Only that it draws attention to the fact that they were there, and it doesn't sit well with the professional conduct that he tries to hold himself to. It sounds sloppy, possibly that somebody is trying to frame the crew, perhaps. So he gets up and he walks out, and he observes the paper. He gets the same one on the way to basically walking toward wherever he thinks that you'll find the rest of the group.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yep, sure. Right, so we're going to cut to, I think we'll go to Solomon next. I suppose a similar kind of question to Solomon is when you're not with the crew, what is he generally up to? What's the deal with Solomon? Muted, Lloyd. Sorry.
Yeah, I was thinking more probably around like sort of academic arcane research and sort of like working with technology, like the technology of the time. Because it kind of ties in with like the stuff we discussed with like his vices last time, where he's building a machine.
Yeah.
And sort of more like engaging with peers than like regular folk. Like they're probably like the other mad scientists and stuff around the city. Those sort of types.
You visit these.
But again, he would simply be based around the docks. Yeah, like he'd basically be based around the docks, where his little, I guess like his little apartment would be. And then, like it'd be coordinating between like the different districts where we'd have these people, like communication flows, occasionally meeting up. Otherwise, sort of just tinkering in his free time. Because he's kind of because he's so focused like a ghost field and stuff, and like figure out how it works and interacting with it. And I guess also probably like maybe also trying to reverse engineer like the spirit warden stuff, because like the stuff he uses as a whisper is sort of similar in sort of function sometimes.
So he visits with people occasionally, and okay. So you're on your way back from visiting one of these associates of yours. You've had quite an interesting morning discussing things about the ghost field, electroplasmic energy, and the devices that can contain it and channel it. And you're feeling pretty good. It's been a very pleasant, stimulating discussion. And you're aware of a little girl's laughter just slightly behind you, to your right.
Yeah.
And you, you immediately know who this is.
Gwen.
Yeah, this is Gwen. So just for everybody else's benefit, who's Gwen?
So Gwen is I guess ally. It's like a little. So he's always kind of had like a sort of, I guess, like a psychic connection with the ghost field, like from like birth. And Gwen, like, because he used to go around the dock, like live up like around the docks and like around where the sort of the ghost fields were weakest. Gwen is a girl that he used to sort of play with as a kid, but like he didn't realize she was a ghost until he started growing up and she didn't. So like, so like they kind of like she's like his little companion that flits in and out of the ghost field, like they sort of like spend time together, and she like gives them information and secret paths and stuff to help out the crew.
Yeah, and so you are aware of that she is standing, not too far behind you, or is nearby.
Yeah.
And she is laughing and giggling at something.
What's the joke today, Gwen?
He keeps trying to hide. He's playing hide and seek. It's very funny.
Who does? Who's playing hide and seek?
The man over there.
I'll turn and have a look.
Okay.
Do I see anyone?
You don't. I mean, it's kind of mid-morning. It's quite a busy street. There's nothing that kind of catches your eye immediately. After she kind of mentions this, and you have a point out in the direction.
Yeah.
You kind of see a figure of a man. He's kind of standing amongst a crowd of people. Around, it's like somebody's got like an old trash can bin thing, which is a flame coming out of it. Somebody seems to be cooking something over it, probably mushrooms. From the smell of it. And you can see this person is more intent, looking over in your direction.
Yeah, it's paying a bit too much attention.
Yeah, quite nondescript. And
yeah,
he's wearing a hood. It's definitely a male figure. But the lower half of their face, there is like a scarf around it, so you can't make out any particular features.
Yeah.
You can see their eyes are definitely kind of trained in your direction.
Yeah.
Wait
Come
a
on,
minute,
Gwen,
she
let's
says.
go. Yeah.
Wait,
Okay.
he's going to hide again in a minute.
No doubt. How about we play a game of our own?
Oh, yeah, they're great.
Yeah. Why don't we go up ahead and we'll wait? We'll hide from him and then we'll surprise him when he comes around the corner.
Oh, that's a good idea.
You can be
jump
my
out and
lookout because
scare
he
him.
won't be. Yeah. Yeah. You can be my lookout because you're so good at hiding. He won't see you.
Yeah, all right then. And you make your way through the crowd.
Try and duck into like an alleyway or something.
Yeah.
Head.
And
See if they follow.
yeah, you kind of see as you move off that this figure kind of sticks his hands into his jacket pocket, sticks his head down, and walks off, following the direction that you have taken as you are moving off. As they're coming towards you, trying to be discreet, and he would have done a pretty good job if you had already been warned about his presence.
Yeah.
And so you make your way into this alleyway, and you kind of sit there, and you can see maybe occasional flashes of Gwen as she kind of sticks her head around the corner to see if he's coming.
Yeah.
And I'm going to leave it there just for a moment, as we go to Nicholas.
Yep.
So Nicholas, I've kind of got the impression that Nicholas is a little bit of a recluse. I could be wrong. What does he do when he's not with the rest of the crew?
I have a friend. For the most part, either working with my locksmith friend, who is trying to teach me how to tinker with locks, which I'm not getting at all, or labouring on the docks, which is a job where you can just turn up, get paid, and nobody cares about your face.
Yeah. So what will we find Nicholas doing today? Is he at the docks, or is he...
Today it's probably the docks.
Okay. So basically just acting as a labourer, loading up some of the ships and taking things off.
Yep.
And things of that nature. Right. Now, just because of the nature of who you are, you're kind of aware, after you've been working for a few hours, moving some of these crates and things around, there's a new guy who's working the shift today. You've never seen him before. He's never been here. You've not seen him around. And I think the thing that probably disturbs you most is that he seems to be kind of asking a few questions about you to some of the other guys. Why he'd be interested in you, I don't know, but it kind of raises your suspicions a little bit, and you kind of think you take a bit of a dislike to him. Maybe you're a private person, right, Nicholas?
Yes, and this disturbs me.
Yeah. I mean, he's nothing. There's nothing about him This guy, he's not particularly well built or anything. He's not imposing. He's not threatening. He's maybe a bit lazy. I think perhaps with the way he's kind of moving some of these crates around. And eventually you kind of you get to a stage where you can't really avoid each other as you go to move some crate. And this guy, he's kind of strangely, despite the fact that he appears to be asking questions about you, he seems a little bit nervous when he's kind of teamed up with you to do this particular job. And he kind of looks down and he's not really saying very much.
That's fine. I'll also not say very much, but I'll sort of look him up and down and see if I can get an idea of what he normally does. Does he look like he'd normally be a labourer? Is he dressed too well for this?
No, he kind of looks the part in his clothing, but you're right, he's a bit thin, perhaps a bit small for somebody that's doing this kind of job. He doesn't look like... in fact, maybe at one point you kind of catch a glimpse in his hands, and his hands aren't calloused or anything like you might expect a labourer's hands to be.
Sure. I'll just sort of... Go on.
No, you carry on.
Just want to sort of keep an eye on him as he's moving around and interacting with others. Try and see if he's asking anything specific. See if he knows my name, my description, etc. See if I can get an idea of where he's getting me from, as it were.
Yeah. And I think he probably... He doesn't seem to know who you are, your name, things like that, any details about you. And actually, he probably has mentioned your name. But you kind of get the impression that he seems to be fishing. At one point, he's kind of, you kind of overhear him say something like, "Oh, I recognise that fella over there. I'm sure I recognise him. Where's he from? I'm sure. Which district's he from? I'm sure I've seen him around. Is he from Roseford or something?" And it's these guys. I mean, do these people? Do you tell these workers much about yourself? I mean,
Not really.
You're a bit
Nobody
of a
cares as
cipher.
long as you come up and carry crates. Don't cause too much of a mess.
Oh, he's getting answers basically like, I don't know, why don't you go and ask him? And this kind of goes on for quite a while. And eventually, he does kind of pluck up the courage to kind of say something to you, but he says, "I'm sure I know you from somewhere. Didn't you run with a crew?"
I don't typically. I'm here carrying the crates. This isn't a work crew.
Oh. No, that's not what I meant. It's not what I meant. I'm sure one of these other lads, they said that you were with a gang. And that probably makes you incredibly suspicious if you've never told any of these guys anything about you.
Yeah. Sorry. I'll just look at him and go, they must be mistaken. Everybody on these docks looks like me.
I don't know. No, they definitely said. They said you ran with a gang. In fact, he said you were out at Six Towers the other night.
I've never been to Six Towers. Why would I go over there? I'm a labourer. I unload the docks. There's no docks over that way.
His whole kind of demeanour changes, and he suddenly looks a lot more confident when he says that. You sure?
I'm quite
Say,
certain.
Well, that's interesting. That is a shame. Oh well. Grab the other end of that crate, will you?
Yep. I know, that's great.
Okay. Let's head over to Ashlyn at this point. Ashlyn is the slide of the group. She's the one with the silver tongue. She's the member of the group that can pretend to be other people, can sway people and charm them. She also likes to appear extremely well dressed and in all the right places and stuff, doesn't she?
Yes.
She probably has quite a swanky apartment or place that she lives, a flat. Probably in one of the nicer districts. Would that be a reasonable assumption?
Maybe over in Charter Hall.
In Charter Hall. Oh, okay. Yeah, but Charter Hall. Charter Hall tends to be the district where lots of the lawyers and city council offices and all those kind of buildings, and the university, of course, the big Charter Hall University, as well as Bellwether Crematorium, where the spirit wardens reside and where the crows fly whenever somebody dies. And so it is quite an upmarket area. You have this apartment there. It's a very swanky affair. It would be quite a high rent, I would imagine. Does Ashlyn pay the rent?
She has a sponsor.
Oh, a sponsor. Yeah, I guess it would be fairly easy for Ashlyn to have somebody pay for this apartment for her. So what does Ashlyn do when she's not with the rest of the crew? Are you able to elaborate? I mean,
A couple of things that she would do. She likes to frequent the bars and shops and in the artisan areas in the Charter Hall to be seen as the person and known that she fits in that environment. So that she, generally makes acquaintances and things like that in that area. But sometimes she does go the other way and she dresses down and goes back to Char Hollow.
Okay.
Rear to the ground there. Basically puts her face forward, just listening, making acquaintances and stuff like that.
Yeah. Okay. So where do we find her today? Is she in Charter Hall, Night Market, anywhere like that, or is it? Is she playing a bit lower station today?
I think because we've just finished a score, she might be down at the Night Market checking some things out. Seeing if any new. She's always looking for things that she might be able to borrow.
Okay. So I guess there are art galleries and things like that around that she might be interested in. And perhaps there are particular places in Night Market where she might like to buy fancy clothes or
borrow them.
Luxury items of some description. And you're probably standing admiring this particular piece when you're suddenly aware there's somebody standing next to you. It's somebody that's taller than Ashlyn. Very well dressed. And he says, and he's got a very deep voice, that is a lovely piece, isn't it?
Who is it?
He's kind of quite a handsome fella that's kind of standing there, very chiseled features, very athletic build.
I take a second glance and then smile.
Yeah. He doesn't appear to be looking at you. He's staring at this piece of artwork that's in front of you. Are you a collector?
Bit of a collector and a more admirer. You?
Oh. Merely an interested observer. Are you just interested in artwork? You like to collect other things?
Don't everybody collect things as they go around life?
Well, that's a bit of a cryptic answer, he says. A little smile kind of creeps across his face and then disappears. No, I'm thinking, slightly more obscure items. You collect books?
I do like to read books. I can't say I collect many books.
Oh. Oh, no particular interest.
Well, I don't know. Depends what the interest is on the books. How much they're worth.
Oh, you buy and sell?
Collect.
But you only collect books of value?
An interest in books.
Occasionally. Like I said, I don't really know too much about it myself. But on occasion in my line of work, you come across like certain items, that are of interest to other people.
I turn round and face him direct.
Yeah.
So you say I answer cryptically. What can I do for you?
And he smiles and says, well, I'm a little defensive there, Miss Clement.
You know my name? Yes, I do not know yours.
No, we've never met, but I've heard of you.
Mr. Polite. Be polite. If you know my name, I should know yours.
Well, I don't think that's really going to be necessary at this moment in time.
That's fine, and I just walk away to look at another piece of artwork.
And he kind of stands there for a moment as you walk off, and then steps into place, kind of beside you as you're looking at his other bit. There was a particular item, actually.
Which you again?
I was interested in a particular item.
Okay.
Yes. It came from one of the noble houses, actually. Shall we say it was liberated?
Sorry.
Bless you. I've got to feel everybody's allergic to this game.
Sorry. Sorry.
Yeah, I wonder where the spread is going.
Yeah. It was liberated, shall we say, from somebody here in Night Market.
Oh. Lots of that goes on around here.
Yeah. Yeah. Look, let's be honest. You don't have anything to fear from me. Yet.
Are we being honest now, are we?
Well, let's just say, I'm just here on you. Warning, that was all.
You're not quite giving me the warning yet. You've talked around things, up and down things, and you've not even given me your name. What is your business here?
Like I said, I just wanted to give you a little warning, that was all.
Well, give it then.
Miss Clement, you may or may not be surprised to hear that you have been sold out. And I just wanted to make sure that you knew. I wanted to give you a fighting chance, as it were.
So
Anyway.
hypothetically, say we were paid to do a job and deliver goods. That's what our job is to pay and deliver. What goes on between, after, or in between? Irrelevant.
Look, I just didn't want to see you get, well, that lovely face of yours to get damaged in any way. I'm just here to give you a warning.
Why are you so concerned about my well-being? I don't even know your name.
No.
Maybe
that's
we
right.
could get to know each other a bit better.
He flicks a pocket watch out of his pocket and flicks it open and looks at it and says, I'm afraid that's about all I've got time for. I really must go. I'm sure that we will speak again at some point in the future, but
And your name is?
you can call me Mr. Smith. It's been a pleasure. And strolls off into the crowd, steps down, looks both ways before heading off down the road, following the crowd to the left.
I'm gonna follow him.
All right. Let's say we're going to jump now to Casper.
Hello.
Hi, Casper.
Gee, that's not Casper's voice, is it? So,
You are returning from visiting the physica that had fixed you up a little bit. You are bruised, you are battered, you feel a little bit like hammered crap at this point. It's a little bit later on in the day than it was for the other guys. It's probably the evening as you're making your way back to wherever it is that Casper lives. Now, Casper, he moves around a bit, I imagine. What's his deal? What do you...
yeah, he never stays in the same place twice. Bit of a traveller.
Yeah. So he's in Duskwall. He's been staying in Duskwall. Does he kind of just find flop houses and places like that to hang around in, or does he find different ways of finding lodgings, inns or something?
Sometimes he doesn't always stay in lodgings. Sometimes he'll just like sleep on the streets and that. He keeps his ear to the ground, sort of thing. So usually he'll old abandoned places he'll sneak into, because he's not always welcome because of his heritage and everything.
Okay.
So he often, depending on what he's doing, he'll just sleep wherever and whenever he needs to and hunker down when he needs to, sort of thing.
Where's he sleeping this evening?
This evening he's on like a rooftop shelter sort of thing.
Okay, so he's found a rooftop he's gonna sleep in.
Yeah, it overlooks like a park area where he can keep an eye on things.
Okay, so he's scoped this place out before and figured out where he was going. And so it's evening. You're battered, you're bruised. You're making your way back to where you're going to be staying that evening. You're kind of in a darkened alleyway. There's kind of a way up, an old fire escape that leads up onto the roof of this building that you've decided that is going to be your bed for the evening. You've got your hand on the lowest rung of the ladder when you hear a voice behind say, "Good evening, Mr. Farrow."
You here for trouble?
Well, I imagine there are probably 3 things going through your head right now. I think the first thing that's going through your head is, who the fuck is interrupting my evening perambulations? The thing is likely to be whether you're thinking whether you're fast enough to get in the first strike. You are not, by the way. The third thing is, you're probably wondering whether you would win that fight. The answer is, maybe. But you're gonna get seriously fucked up finding out. And then this figure steps out of the shadow and he says, "Besides, I think you've heard enough bells to last you the rest of the week." He's a fairly tall man, quite thin. He's wearing an expensive-looking suit, a bowler hat. He has a cane next to him. His hair is kind of slightly greying, and he has this moustache, a bushy moustache that's also kind of greying. And he's got a fairly confident swagger to him.
You see, you listed off my possibilities. But you forget, you're surrounded by the shadows right now. And my enemies don't last in the shadows. You better tell me what it is you want with me before I don't have to fight you.
Mr. Farrell, my name is Pritchard. And I've got a little proposal for you.
You have my attention.
I would like to offer you a little business proposition.
Do I have to drag it out of you, or are you going to pick up the conversation and tell me?
You're right. I'm terribly sorry. I have an air for the dramatic.
I can tell.
Now, when I say I have a business proposition for you, what I meant to say is, you're going to work for me, Mr. Farrell.
Is that right?
Yes.
Do you know what happened to a man that tried to control the dogs?
I'm sure you're about to tell me, and you're going to be as threatening as you possibly can, no doubt.
Why would I work for you?
Well, let us examine the facts, Mr. Farrell. A team of spirit ones arrive in 6 towers to find the body of someone recently deceased. They hear a gunshot from a nearby alley, and suspecting they may have another corpse on their hands, they decide to investigate. Does this sound familiar?
Was it in the
Let me-
paper?
Some of it was in the paper, Mr. Farrell. Well, anyway, these spirit warrants, they're fired upon from an upstairs window no less than 75 yards away. The weapon used was said to have sounded like a handgun rather than a rifle. The bullet hit a chain less than half an inch across. It was attached to an oil lamp 20 feet in front of the wardens, causing it to fall, start a small conflagration that momentarily blocked the alleyway. Bluecoats that investigated this said that the shot was a desperate one, designed to frighten off the spirit wardens.
To me, it sounds like one hell of a bloody good shot. Tell me, how far do you think you'd be able to stand away from somebody able to do that shot and not get shot yourself?
That's very good. However, you're right. Maybe it was a bloody good shot. The spirit with the bluecoats, they said that it was a 1,000,000 to 1 shot. A pure fluke that it hit the chain.
My dear friend, that was me on my bad day.
Well, that's the thing, is I already know that.
I know you know that. You wouldn't be so bold to stand here saying you know me and all of this if you didn't know.
Right. Well, perhaps I ought to explain to you one other small fact that you're probably not aware of. I am Inspector Brant Pritchard of the Imperial Inspectors.
Tell me, Inspector, does your title grant you an immunity to death?
You are a very funny man, Mr. Farrell.
I'm sorry, you must not be used to my accent. That wasn't a joke.
Mr. Farrell, there are probably only 6 people in the Empire that could have made that shot. And only 2 of them reside here in Duskwall.
And you're stood within a meter of one of them. So either you've got something that I will be interested in, or some sort of blackmail that will stop me from putting you up against that wall and letting the shadows that I surround myself devour you piece by piece. I suggest you get on with whichever it is you have, and I can do whichever task you need, and then we can leave each other's company. I've got a very busy day.
That you do. That you do. And I'm taking it from this little parlay that you are actually accepting my offer because you really do not want to spend the rest of your life in Ironhook prison.
I've not decided until I hear it. Have you decided if you can get out of range in time?
Mr. Farrell, do you honestly think that I would be standing here talking to you if I thought you were any kind of threat to me?
You clearly don't know me that well, then.
Well, that remains to be seen, sir.
Before it rains, what's the job?
Well, you're gonna be my eyes and ears for a while.
And do you expect the eyes and ears to feed themselves, or is there some sort of payment?
The payment will be that I don't take your scrawny little ass over to Ironhook prison right now.
Have you a plan on how you're going to do that? In a dark corridor where it's just me and you? I don't think you've thought this through.
You see, your biggest failing, Mr. Farrow, is probably your overconfidence.
No, you mistake my overconfidence for a lack of care about living. I'll take you out even if it's the last thing I do if I wanted to. I'm not scared of you. I'm not scared of what you'll do to me. I will enjoy what I do to you before you do that.
So it's a maybe then.
Yes. I suppose it will all depend on whether or not you can get the courage to spew out your story quick enough. You're delaying. It's almost as if you're scared, Mr. Inspector. Might I suggest you put your backside in gear so we can both get on with our daily lives?
And I think, no, we need to finish. We need to conclude this. He shrugs. I'll be in touch, Mr. Farrell.
Can't wait.
I would say don't leave town.
You wouldn't know if I did.
And he to you, and casually swinging his cane, walks up the alleyway. So, river ghosts. You have managed to avoid the follower. What was the idea? Where was Slip going after he had left the pub?
I can't believe we've done this. Looks like we've been stitched up and we've told the gang.
Okay.
Get to the boat.
Right. So you're going to meet up at the warehouse later on. The rest of you kind of managed to avoid any further issues. What was Solomon going to do?
I was going to try and get the jump on the guy who was like, to see if he was still trying to follow me, and then get the jump on him. That's why I had like Gwen as the lookout.
Yeah, and so I think perhaps as you wait for some time, and with Gwen peeking around the corner and giggling and laughing, saying, I can't see him. He's good at this, isn't he? You wait for several moments, but the person doesn't appear.
He's just gone.
And Nicholas, your shift kind of ends without any further incident. This guy, his demeanor kind of changes throughout the day as you're working. Seems a little bit cocky almost as you carry on your shift. He doesn't speak to you again.
I'll keep an eye on him for the rest of the shift, and after the shift ends, I'll let him walk away a bit, and then I'll follow him, see where he goes.
Okie dokie. So he kind of says goodbye to a few of the crew, and kind of flips you a little salute as you pack up all of your things. You collect your belongings at the end of the shift, and he kind of makes his way out of the gate of the yard where you've been working, and down. The kind of the docks is built on multiple levels, and you're kind of on this lowest level down near the seafront at the moment. You can see all these kind of large archways, like aqueduct style archways, that kind of make up and lift up the next level. He kind of walks under one of these aqueducts. You can see as he does that, somebody kind of steps out of the shadows and starts talking to him, and they kind of exchange just a few words, and then they kind of walk off together, away from the docks, under the arch, into the shadows.
Yeah.
It gets very difficult to see them at that point. want to carry on following?
From a distance, yeah.
Yeah. So they make their way across town. They see you idly chatting. The conversation you can make out, it's very normal. There's nothing. They don't mention you. They don't mention the River Ghost. They don't mention any kind of criminal activity. They're just talking crap, basically having the odd joke amongst themselves. And they kind of lead you across town a ways. They catch like a carriage at one point. You recognise them. The carriage. It belongs to the cabbies. They're another faction in Duskwall. They kind of maintain all of the. They're like the taxi service, if you like, around here. But they are another faction in themselves. And you can see them kind of chatting away to the driver of this carriage. It's quite a big black. Probably quite an expensive looking thing for a couple of dock workers or labourers to be using. And the guy kind of gestures them on into it before being pulled off by the two goats at the front, and it clips off down the street at a fair rate of knots.
Is there anywhere I could grab onto the back of the carriage? It wouldn't get risky.
I think, sure, you can do that, absolutely.
Yeah, I'll try and get onto the back somehow. Somewhere that seems mostly concealed. If there's a sort of a footman's bench or something, I'll just sit on that and look like I'm supposed to be there, but otherwise,
trying
to be somewhat concealed.
I think this is going to require some kind of roll.
That's fine.
Yeah, I know what I think it might be. What do you think? What ability do you think is appropriate for this for you?
I'd lean towards finesse. It's more getting onto the carriage and holding onto it while it's moving rather than prowling, as it were.
Well, prowl. I have to say, it is all of the kind of physical activity generally kind of comes under prowl for a scoundrel. It's a bit of a misnomer thing. But it generally.
I'm misremembering my skill descriptions then.
No, it's absolutely
In
fine.
that case,
look,
prowl.
you can if you want to try and finesse it, that's fine. But if I'm just wanting to point out that prowl does cover that kind of activity.
No, I'll go with prowl and I'll reread the skill descriptions after this because I've clearly forgotten them.
All right. Okay. Let's say that this is going to be. I think it's kind of moving off. I think this is just a risky maneuver. I don't think it's particularly desperate.
Okay.
I think you can. It will be a standard effect. You will either sit on the back of that thing, or So I think it's just a standard effect for that, or you fall off, whatever. Okay. So you describe to me how you kind of jump onto this carriage. You're right, there is like a bench on the back of the carriage that you can easily jump onto and sit there. So how is it that you are approaching the carriage, for example, as it's pulling away?
Well, I'm trying not to get spotted until they've got in and the door's shut, so I'm going to have to rush towards it a bit. So I'll rush up to it and jump up and try and get onto the footman's bench, trying not to make too much noise as I collide with the back of a carriage.
Yeah, which I think is probably what kind of happens, is that perhaps you kind of maybe mistime it slightly, or it's a little bit slippery. Maybe it's been the fog and that has created a bit of it makes it a bit more slippery, the wetness on there. And so you kind of, as you jump on and swing around, your back kind of hits the back of the carriage with a bit of a thud.
Yeah.
And you hear a voice. Who's that? And the carriage starts to slow down as if it's about to stop.
Okay.
That's one of you bloody urchins. You'll be for it.
As the carriage is slowing down, I'll just lower myself down off the bench, hanging
Sure.
onto the bench, but if it comes to a full stop, I want to drop myself under the carriage.
Yeah, and it does come to a full stop. And you hear somebody climbing down from the top.
Okay, I'll just
Warning you.
slide under before he gets around the carriage.
Okay. So you slide under the carriage to try and conceal yourself. And he kind of wanders around. Right then. And he's a little bit surprised at the fact there's nobody there. And he's looking around at this crowd of people that are kind of milling around in the streets. He's looking. One more bloody kids. Walks back round to the front of the carriage and climbs up. You hear, as he kind of cracks the whip for the goats to start pulling the carriage away.
As I hear him get up onto the front bench, I'll just hop back up onto the footman's bench at the back. Being more careful to be quiet this time.
Okay. Now you can do this. I'm thinking. No, you're going to do this. This is going to be fine. You kind of swing back up onto the bench, taking a bit more care this time. And the carriage pulls off, and gathers speed and momentum, and takes you on a nice little ride around the town, around the city. Eventually crossing to what you recognise, one of the bridges, into Silver. And eventually it kind of pulls up outside this kind of narrow street. And the door kind of opens. You hear the two guys that are climbing out shout something to the driver along the lines of, cheers, mate. And they kind of stand in the street waiting for the carriage to move on.
Okay.
And
I'll try and slip off and get to somewhere on the other side of the street. So the carriage is between me and them.
okay.
Try and get to somewhere concealed so they don't see me sitting on the back of a carriage awkwardly.
Okay. I'm going to ask you for a roll here.
That's fine.
I'm thinking it's probably still risky. Probably still under defect. Yeah. So something happens. You do it. You manage to kind of hide away. But there's going to be some kind of complication here. Does anybody have any ideas as to what that might be? He's going to achieve what he set out to do. Anyone? Something is going. I mean, the obvious thing is that somebody in the street is going to witness this thing happening. If it's not these two
I'm
guys,
just crossing the road.
you kind of hop off and make your way across the street. I know what it's going to be. There is an urchin. He's kind of standing on the street corner there. He's dressed in clothes that are probably a little bit too small for him. He's got this kind of flat. It's kind of pulled down slightly over his face. He thinks he's a bit gangster. And as you kind of climb across the street, he kind of looks up at you and he says, what do you think it would be worth, mister?
Yeah, I would pay you coin to be quiet. They would probably pay you coin to, yell that I'm here, but would you want to risk it? I mean, I could just be crossing the road. You don't know if they're going to pay you. I'm going to pay you to be quiet.
Oh, well, if you're going to pay me, sir, that will be fine. I didn't see anything. Now, you're not going to give him a coin. That's like a week's salary.
Yes.
So you can just kind of throw him some
Yes.
change or
I've
whatever.
got some,
Yeah.
drinking money.
Yeah. And the trouble with urchins is you can't always trust them, can you? But you throw him some money, and he catches it. He takes that. Have a nice day, sir.
And you.
And as the carriage pulls away, you can see these two guys. They're kind of standing there on the street. They're looking around. They're looking around to see if there's anybody about. And they don't see anybody. And they kind of make their way. They make their way back up this narrow kind of street. It seems to lead up to what looks like some kind of looks like an old watchtower, but it's broken and run down. And you would probably know what that means. That watchtower. Would you know? Probably not, actually. No, let's not go with that. It's getting quite late by this point. These figures make their way up the alleyway. I'd like to just jump back to everybody else at the moment who probably will have met up at this point. Let's see what they're doing. You have arrived back at your own the warehouse, which is where you guys live, which I've decided is here. And one of your number is not there. You all enter into your little hideout. It's kind of hidden away in the ghost field there.
Yeah, I was there first, waiting.
Yeah.
I've got a newspaper.
Yes, the article, as you're kind of reading it, it kind of it mentions, now that you've had a bit more time to look at it, it kind of says that it knows that there was an incident at Six Towers the few nights before. It's kind of saying that there's been some strange happenings. I mean, there's always strange happenings in Six Towers, but in terms of the fact that there'd been some death in that area the last few days.
And I see Solomon coming in and just chuck him the newspaper and say, "Someone's double-crossed us."
Yes.
I take it the inspector came to you as well, then?
No. What inspector?
Random inspector met me in the alley. Seemed to know a bit too much.
Who have you been talking to, Casper?
Nobody.
Fuck's sake. Inspector's breathing down our neck. Our score's been found slashed in the canal.
What?
That fence that we did over.
The inspector
Somebody's-
didn't say anything about that. I thought he was
I
just
walked through the door.
blackmailing me on the robbery.
I
Slamming.
think someone's been paying more attention to us than we were aware. It's
So
like you'll
Ashley
say,
was
it's like
just
you sort of
arrived.
stepped in from the field.
Yeah.
You just join. Like that's it. You just joined the conversation. Like you weren't waiting for
I like
introduction.
it. That's cool. And Ashley also arrives just moments later.
I walk in, slam the door. What the fuck?
Evening, Ashley.
It's like, Gwen, you heard nothing.
There's a miner here.
Yeah.
Fucker has grassed us up.
Not only that, some fuckers implicated us. He's been... Look at this, Ashlyn, and I hand the newspaper back.
And this newspaper kind of details the deaths of 3 people. Well, it mentions that 3 bodies were found in the canal just not too long after.
Last night.
2 days, yeah, after the score.
Bodies
Any
are-
identity on the bodies?
The bodies were identified as Cedric Leitch and possibly his manservant and housekeeper.
That's where we just were. That was our last job.
Fuck.
Yeah, they were. So whoever he was selling on behalf of has cleaned house.
Well, now we have 2 tasks to do. The inspector said he wanted a job doing. And we clearly need to find out who did this, so we can get rid of the heat on us before somebody else comes. If it wasn't the...
Oh, you're going to work with the blue coats now, are we?
I don't think we have much choice.
It's not the blue coats, Ashlyn. He's an inspector.
Didn't fucking work.
Thanks for clarifying.
Look, we'll get rid of him as soon
They all
as we
said- yeah.
can, but we can't
An
do
inspector.
it. Yes,
There's 50 Shades of Blue.
No.
but I
lot
need to
worse.
find out who he is properly first. But in the meantime, we need to find out who killed that house.
Ben. I think
So-
the house is fine.
Solomon, we've got coin to deal with the blue coats. We can't do that with inspectors. They just
Yeah, we
keep...
need something of more value than coin.
The inspector thinks that we did the murder, clearly. So if we can find out who really did the murder, he won't have anything on us.
Put a bullet through his head, did you, by any chance, Casper?
I don't
I'm not
try
sure
to
the
make it a
inspector
habit.
is the one that's
yeah.
grassed us up. Really? Seriously?
Yeah.
Someone else
I
has
think,
spanked
yeah.
us.
Well,
I think he's. I haven't heard the bells going in the last 5 minutes, so I think the inspector's probably all right.
where's Nicholas?
Probably grassing us up. Nah. Who knows with that
From
one?
what I
Let's
can
kill
gather
him.
right now. Wait, let's just everybody
Yeah.
step back.
I love the
one
one where it's
minute.
like. I love the one where we all gathered together, and be like, we've been made. Someone snitched, and there's like one person missing. Wait a second. It's like, wait
I
a
know
second.
this.
Wait a minute.
Two coincidences.
So let's get this right. I've been approached by somebody. You've been approached by somebody.
I was being followed by someone, but I lost them.
Lip. Did someone approach you?
I was just sitting in the pub listening to 2 old guys bantering. They don't know it's
So
me.
far, 2 people know. We know definite, and it's. Where's Nicholas?
Don't know.
Hopefully, just running late.
Not seen him since we separated.
Well, we need to go back to the. Need to go back to the guy who gave us the job.
Emrys Ball.
Well, it looks like a stage 1 is going to be a Nick hunt.
Right. Do we even know who these people who were following you? I can track my inspector. But if it's more than the inspector coming after us, we have got a lot more on our hands.
I couldn't get an idea. It was just someone in a robe. I was going to get the jump on them, but they disappeared.
How did this happen?
That's what we endeavor to find out.
It's coming from either Basho or Emma Boyle. He gave us the job.
You think the
So
person
he's
who
obviously
gave
double
us
crossed us.
Why?
It was a while back, but Emrys Boyle was acting as a representative, an agent, or somebody else. You took that job.
Maybe
I'll
they're
drop
not-
that in because you may not remember. Sorry, carry on.
Maybe they're not
But
happy that we did what we did and we know what we know, and now they're trying to put us under.
I think given the fact that everyone in that house was killed would implicate the people that passed them the book in the first place for safekeeping and sale. Whoever Boyle was trying to steal the book from.
Well, we need to pay a visit to these people.
You three go and pay them a visit. I'll go find Nicholas, make sure he's not dead.
Which
Try and keep
is
them not dead.
yeah, which is kind of funny because Nicholas.
He is.
Yeah.
He's
literally become a Casper.
These two fellas have just walked up this alleyway. You can see this kind of ruined tower further up. It's kind of looming over the buildings that are kind of here in front of you, which are more just kind of residential. But it's quite a swanky area, despite this kind of tower. It's obviously not been used in quite some time. Would have been an old watchtower for the city back in the day. Now it's kind of fallen into disrepair, and is now just part of the scenery in front of these kind of really quite extravagant houses here in Silkshaw. This is the kind of place that perhaps, Ashlyn might have had an apartment in if she wasn't in Charterhall. It's not where all the really, really, really rich people live, but it's quite an affluent area. You can tell that from some of the people that are kind of milling around. The urchin on the street is obviously here. He's probably a bit of an artful dodger type. He's probably actually waiting to weave through the crowds and take money out of people's purses and stuff like that. But the rest of the people that you can see, they are very well dressed. It's quite an affluent area. I don't know. Maybe does Nicholas kind of look out of place? But I suppose as being the kind of person he is, nobody probably sees him anyway, right?
He's not really dressed for the area, but probably won't notice.
So these people disappear up the alleyway. What is Nicholas doing?
I'm going to try and find somewhere where I can see the alleyway and the watchtower from, but maybe a rooftop vantage point, somewhere that's a bit more concealed than just standing on the street. And see if anybody else goes in that would look like they might be joining them. If it's an apartment building, I suppose I wouldn't be able to tell that much, but at least get an idea of who else is going around.
Okay, I think you can. You can most definitely find a vantage point. That is going to be no problem for you whatsoever. There are plenty of quite tall buildings here. Getting up onto the roof it's not going to prove difficult physically for you, in the slightest. But it's quite a busy area. People kind of doing their evening constitutionals and things like that. Ladies and gentlemen walking with their fancy parasol type umbrellas. It's quite foggy though, which helps you. And you can make your way onto the top of this building. You can see the alleyway stretched out before you, leading up to this old watchtower. The tower itself, once you're on the roof, you can kind of make out that there are some kind of windows that are facing you. And you can see light is emanating from them. It's not stupidly obvious, and you are watching for a little bit of time before you kind of notice it yourself. So somebody is there, but they are perhaps trying to be unobserved.
Okay. I'll try and make sure that sort of my concealment lines up so that I'm specifically concealed from that window.
Yeah.
If it seems like someone's waiting there. And then just keep an eye out for any movement or anybody else going in.
Okay. I mean, it's a reasonable distance. It's difficult for you perhaps to kind of see actual figures, but you do notice occasional dimming of the light as if somebody's passing in front of it.
Yeah.
But that's all you get from that, really. If you needed to get some more information, you might need to get closer.
Alright. I'll just sort of take a mental note of the location of this tower so I can get back here. And I'll head back towards the hideout, the lair.
Yeah. Okay. So I think we can assume then. Well, it's gonna be tight, isn't it? The rest of you, what's the plan? I knew that we're splitting up to do something. You were going to look for Nicholas, weren't you, Casper?
Yeah. I was gonna go find out where he was.
Yeah. And the rest of you, what was the plan?
Well, we need to find out what's happened around these bodies. The bodies themselves have probably been taken care of.
See, the bodies themselves. Yeah, I mean that might be in. Might need. I mean, there'll be a blue coat precinct. The nearest blue coat precinct that they would have been taken to. Which is likely to be. I don't think there is actually one in.
Anyone got a blue
Six
coat?
Towers itself.
Contact.
So it's probably the one in here, wherever this is. That's still 6 Towers. I'm wrong. Isn't 6 Towers? There is a blue precinct. That is most likely where the bodies were taken. Any police report would also be there. I guess blue coat report.
We find who killed these people. We find out who's gunning for us. We take them out.
I can go and speak to Basho.
Yeah, that's what I think. If we run out of time, I can tell their ghost to tell us what they who killed them if they even know.
That sounds like a good way, Solomon.
This is a good point, because the bodies would actually be retrieved, wouldn't they, by spirit wardens? But
Yeah.
oddly enough, these ones haven't. In fact, the newspaper article specifically says that the bodies were taken to the Blue Coat precinct in 6 Towers, which would have been odd, and you would have noticed that straight away.
Yeah, which means that someone thinks there's no risk of ghosts coming out of those bodies, which is concerning. So someone's probably trapped their souls as well. Has killed them.
It's like one way to find out,
Someone's
Solomon.
captured the ghosts, because you can do that.
Yeah, with the spirit bottles.
Let's find
Yeah.
them. Let's go.
Think-
At the
talk
very
to
least.
them. Not that I would know that. Really.
But we can at least confirm.
Yeah. I mean, you know some of this stuff. I mean, it's not... I mean, ghosts and that you know about. Everybody knows about.
Yeah.
It's just that obviously the Whisper would have more knowledge about that kind of thing. And yes, it would be certainly registering with Solomon that is unusual. That the bodies were not kind of disposed of. The only way that... There's a couple of things that probably would go through Solomon's head at that point would be the fact that either they didn't have souls anymore, they were removed, which, I mean, there is actually a religious practice that does do that, and the people that are left are called hollows when they don't have souls. They tend to be quite dim-witted.
Solomon, they just like meat shields essentially.
Kind of, yeah. And you didn't get that impression from any of the 3 people that you saw in the house. You only spoke to them briefly. Or you only saw them briefly, but you didn't get that impression.
It'll be very obvious. Yeah.
But yeah, for some reason, they haven't been taken and disposed of in the usual manner.
Yeah. They also didn't, at least Leech didn't seem the type for religious practices.
No.
We break in. We find out where the bodies are in the morgue. You do your thing. We get out. We'll know who it is.
I'll go see
It
Ben.
was that noble house. which I can't remember. They had
One
their
that the
sigil
book
on the
came
book.
from. Oh, yeah, Strangford.
Yeah. They may have something to do with this.
I'm just thinking, when we were in their house, Lecce's house, there was him, his wife, his butler. Didn't the butler have a wife? Was there not a fourth in that house?
No, you saw 3.
There was a lady on the stairs and like his
yeah,
butler.
probably would have spotted her. She would have been dressed in a uniform, probably. She was the housekeeper. There was the manservant, or the butler, who was in the room with Leitch when Slip entered the room.
Too bad there wasn't a witness still alive. We might have got to lead that way.
And then there was Leitch himself. So it was just the 3 people that you know of in the house.
Where's Drozdov? Why is he not here?
And Casper is going to go and find Nicholas. How will Casper do that?
Casper will mainly be up on, he'll get to a vantage point where he can oversee the area, and he will use his really good hunting buddy to scour the area to try and find him.
Well, this is going
Right.
well.
Don't worry, it's on a good command word.
Well, it was nice knowing you, Nicholas. Right, okay, so you're basically going to use Umbra to
Yes.
kind of search the area to find him.
Yes.
Now, is there going to be anything interesting from him not finding Nicholas? Probably not, right?
No.
Umbra just flies off, and then 5 minutes later, you hear a scream.
You
and
hear
a
all
bell.
the bells going off. Oh, but
Yeah.
gotta get up
Shit.
Right.
Yeah, but obviously this is Umbra's kind of thing, isn't it? It is a hunting
Yes.
pet, so I can't imagine a reason why he would fail in what he was doing, especially as he probably knows Nicholas as well. So I think we'll take a quick break right now because it is 11 o'clock almost. So I think we're taking a little break,
Yep.
and then we'll see what happens next.
Sounds good.
What could possibly go wrong?
We'll be
Nothing.
back. Go
It's
grab-
all going great.
It's going.
All going
fabulous.
swimmingly.
Going great. Go grab yourselves a cup of tea and a biscuit, and we'll be back in about 10 minutes. See you in a bit.
Petit! Prime petit!
Bye bye.
Thunderbirds.
Hallelujah!
Hello.
Oh.
We're back. Hope you've got your old cups of teas. 'Tis a cold winter's night in Britain at the moment. And if for those of you
It's
who
chopping freezing. I don't know about cold winter's night.
I don't know what
We also-
accent this is, by the way.
Yeah, we have the common side effect of any RP table is the moment anyone does an accent, somebody has to try and do another one for whatever
Oh.
reason.
Yeah. But if you haven't got
It's
your
like the
teas,
RP version
make
of a
sure
pissing
you've got
contest.
your whiskies.
I got a cup of tea.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
may
I
have had
remember
too
me
much
trying
to
hood.
Heavy, sure.
To be sure.
Back in the old country.
yeah.
Oh, too much to drink. You were drinking beer, and then I watched you swigging actually from the bottle of rum.
Yeah, but that's because I'm so cool, Ange.
Did you not see him do
That's-
it? He actually turned around and went,
That's
It's cool
because
to drink.
he's some old
Where's the
pirate.
rum gone?
Oh. No. Everybody knows. Everybody knows, right? It's cool to drink and smoke, isn't it? Right?
oh my god.
We should make
Absolutely.
this clear that Infinite Monkey Tales does not endorse smoking or drinking in any fashion that makes you think that you're cooler, because you're not cool for doing it. You're cool if you
Yeah.
play tabletop role-playing games.
Yeah.
That's
and drink and
Especially,
smoke.
yeah.
If you do all three, you're
Yeah, we also frown.
off
Yeah,
the
we especially
chart,
frown upon
man.
anyone. Yeah, we also frown upon anyone who's tipsy in chat.
Yes.
Yeah.
Accidentally wipes chat out. Yeah. Sorry about that.
No. The thing is, right?
My
Like,
turn.
tipsy, right? Tipsy doesn't sound cool.
Tipsy.
Tips is not.
Yeah. Shit-faced sounds cool, right? I mean, if somebody says, "Oh, I'm a bit tipsy," you don't go, "That guy's cool," do you? Yeah. Somebody goes, "Oh, I was absolutely shit-faced last night."
I
You
go,
think that guy.
or I
That
go, what
guy.
an idiot.
But no.
Well, there's that as well.
Drink responsibly, people.
And
Right.
smoke.
I don't-
Smoke
No,
is
You never know.
smoke.
God's sake, ignore him.
Don't smoke.
No
and you know
more
what?
rum.
If you vape, fuck you. I hate yous.
But you
Yeah,
never know, the
vaping.
tipsy person.
Seriously,
Vaping's
guys.
the
Okay,
Right.
everybody mute those two, and me and Coy will
Cigarettes.
carry on.
That's where it's at.
Before we just jump straight back into the game, just want to give a quick shout out. Thank you for Third Floor Wars for the follow there. Hope you enjoy our content. And thank you for the 100 bits that you also threw us. Much appreciated.
Woohoo!
Thank you to Croy for giving out some gift subs.
Whee!
Big thank you to Superwolf Leo for the massive sub drop that definitely got us over our goal of I think we've now got all the emote slots now unlocked for subbing,
Holy
so
shit.
we will get those emotes
Designing
sorted.
something.
We've pinged our artists and we'll hopefully we'll rope her in a bit more to finish off. Not had a
Oh,
response.
actually, I saw her today. I could have spoke to her about it.
Oh, look, we need to ping our artists and just at everyone in the artist gallery.
Definitely.
Please.
Thank you to Meow Neva for the bits. Thank you to Lloyd for the gifts up there. And thank you to Jade for the 100 bits. Hope you're doing well, Jade.
Yeah, feeling better.
Thank you, everyone, as always, for supporting us. We much appreciate it. But if you just want to support us, we don't want your money. We want your views and your time. If you want, please join our Discord or please check out our YouTube and please subscribe
Definitely
to that.
the YouTube.
Because we're polishing up our YouTube. We're making it really fancy. We're getting rid of all these adverts. Not all the chat, because I know some of you like the chat, but if you all hate the chat, I'll get rid of that as well. But it's nice and
There's a
quick
button for
and
it.
catch up. Great to listen to if you're on the way home or if you're at work and you can spare an ear to listen to us. You don't have to watch it. You're not missing much by seeing our ugly mugs. And of course, do feel free to follow our Twitter. We post out bits and bobs as and when we can.
And sometimes correctly.
Sometimes correctly when we do involve everyone who's actually involved in any shows and that. But yeah, so if you want to support us, please follow us. And if you're watching this on the YouTube, get on over to Twitch and follow us on Twitch and catch us
YouTube.
live.
YouTube.
Hello, YouTube.
And remember, drinking and smoking, it's cool.
But vaping is an arse thing to do.
Yeah, vaping's for...
Will you two just shut up now?
Sorry, I'm feeling a bit tipsy.
I'm going to ban him.
Right. On with the
Back
show,
to
guys.
the story. Idiot.
Yes.
Serious face.
Okay, so it appears that some shit has gone down as the characters have variously decided. There seem to be some people that have taken an interest in their activities, and so it seems that we're going to be carrying out some kind of raid on a blue coat precinct at some point in the near future. But before we get to that, Umbra, who is what? What is Umbra?
Umbra is Casper's shadow.
Yes.
So yeah, Casper is a Takaros. Am I saying that right?
Ikarosi.
Takarosi. So he's a bit strange and mysterious, and he has two features. He has these piercing white eyes, which usually throw the people off, but he doesn't actually have his own shadow, weirdly enough. But it does, but it's a sentient shadow. So almost like the wildest side of Casper. And it can detach itself and scour areas, attack people. And yeah, it's
I
good
love
at
that.
hunting. Not to give too much away, Casper's very good at hunting people. Bit of an old profession for him. So,
Yeah, that is so cool. I love that whole thing about the shadow. And Umbra has been sent out to search for Nicholas. Now he knows Nicholas. It's not actually he or she, or is it a they? I don't know. Does it matter?
It's a shadow.
Shadow.
I think
So it's a they.
Casper does refer to it as a her. if ever he catches it.
Okay, that's cool. So she has been dispatched to look for the missing member of their group, Nicholas, who, as it happens, is on his way back currently from Silkshore, this rather affluent area, this affluent part of Duskwall. Now, does Nicholas know much about Umbra? This is the
He's
other
about to
thing.
find out.
I mean, between the two of you, does the crew know what Umbra is and how it works? Is that a, or is this something that you've kind of kept from everybody and kind of usually
I think
utilize?
Yeah, I think the crew would. They don't necessarily know what it is and the extent of it, but they would recognise the shadow side of it.
Yeah. I imagine it would be pretty difficult for anybody to actually kind of spot Umbra most of the time, though, right?
Yes, but like she can take form of different shapes, so she could appear as just like a vague shadow, or like she could actually do my silhouette sort of thing. So she could appear, on the wall near someone to catch their eye.
Right. Okay. And so, with your instructions that you've sent out, Umbra with, what is it that you have asked her to do?
To find Nicholas.
Is that it? Just to find and then report back to you?
Yeah, well, there is a connection, so he kind of always has an idea of whereabouts Umbra is. So once Umbra finds him, he will basically just head into that direction, sort of thing.
Okay. Right. Okay. So I don't think this is going to take too long for Umbra. She is an expert hunter. And she knows Nicholas. Probably, if she hunts by scent, that's a good point. I don't know how she'd do that, I guess that's something we could think about. Nicholas, how are you getting back from Silkshore? We're gonna find out where it is on the map, haven't we? But you're on your way back from Silkshore, towards the hideout of your crew, the docks. How do you do this? Is it are you catching a cab? Do you make your own way? What is Umbra going to see, I guess, is my question.
Who are you asking?
Nicholas.
Nicholas, are you there?
Who's there?
Apologies, I have been explaining this for the last 5 minutes and my microphone has disconnected itself.
Technical
You know what?
issues.
I hate technology.
I also hate technology. So yeah, I'll be walking essentially from Silkshore back across.
It's not far away. It's actually pretty much the Spark Grounds are part of Silkshore from where you are. It might be as affluent as I thought. But anyway, so you making your way back, and I guess Umbra will intercept you as you're crossing the bridge, the Taffeta Bridge, across from Crow's Foot, as you'll make your way back. And that's the information that she transmits back to you, Casper. He's coming back from Silkshore. Now, Silkshore is where you met Emrys Boyle previously.
Yep.
Which, I don't know, would that seem a bit strange?
That would seem very strange, considering that we have a mole. Yeah. Casper will stalk for Nicholas. He won't jump into him, sort of thing. He'll head on over to him, but try and stalk him from the rooftops to see what he's up to at this point.
Sure. Yeah, that sounds like a reasonable thing to do. And you kind of find yourself, you're kind of sitting. By the time you make your way around, to where Nicholas will be. You're kind of on the Devil's Bridge here. As Nicholas is making his way across, it's kind of exposed rigging, and there's actually some residences kind of built onto the side of it, almost like a shanty towns, if you like, that are kind of built along the side of this bridge. There's kind of a few market stalls down along the middle of it. It's quite busy, even at this time, it's quite busy. The smell of food cooking. The smoke is kind of rising up and mingling with the mist and the fog. And you're kind of watching as Nicholas makes his way across the bridge. Nicholas, I assume you're just not doing anything untoward, are you? Just kind of, you're not looking suspicious, are you? Well, any more than usual.
I'm walking.
Yeah.
Casper will attempt to sneak up to Nicholas from behind.
Oh, this is almost PvP, you know.
Could be.
Okay.
Give me 5 quid if you let me stab him.
No.
People are offering the money, I will take it, regardless of the amount. So, how are you going to approach this? I mean, Nicholas, this is the kind of thing that Nicholas does all the time. So you know this is not going to be easy if you're going to try this.
Well, he's gonna, like... I think Casper will be very good at identifying maybe the way that, you know, from the way Nicholas is walking, which way he's going to go. So Casper's going to attempt to get ahead of Nicholas to a point where he'll intersect.
Yeah. Now, Nicholas, you probably aren't expecting one of your own to be tracking you or following you, or are you? Are you that suspicious?
Not really. I'd probably be keeping a cursory out in case the person that was asking about me earlier was following me, but I wouldn't really be looking at rooftops and sort of places that I'd expect Casper to be coming from.
Okay, yeah, okay, yeah, that's fair.
Someone on the ground following me, really.
Yeah. So let's say then that you are going to be using an ability here to track.
Yeah.
So what you've described to me, I know what I think this ability may be that you're using. What do you think it's going to be?
I think it was going to be to hunt him.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, that would kind of be appropriate, I guess. I think, judging from the situation and from what Kidari has described, I think this is going to be controlled as well.
Mm-hmm.
And the effect is going to be standard. No problem.
So just controls on standard, yeah?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That works.
That's a 6.
You do it. Okay. Are you looking for anything in particular from this?
Am I looking for anything in particular?
Yeah. And if you wish to expend any stress here, you could resist this result as well if you wished, Nicholas. It's probably not worth it. You've not done anything wrong, right?
I'm not suspecting anybody to... Well, I'm suspecting somebody to be after me. I'm not expecting Casper to be after me.
That's a good point.
I'm not expecting sudden death from above, as it were.
No. Okay. And so you are watching Nicholas. You're just casually walking across the bridge. There's no...
Yeah.
Doesn't appear to be doing anything out of the ordinary.
So, yeah, Casper's, like I said, he's going to get to a point, probably at the end of the bridge, knowing that he'll have to come to the end of the bridge, and position himself ready to essentially fall in behind him. So he'll probably hide around a corner ready to quickly catch up behind him.
There are plenty of the little kind of shacks and that are kind of set up around the bridge. It would be fairly easy to do that, and with that roll, I guess that would be an acceptable thing. Are you just heading straight back to the warehouse, Nicholas? Is that the plan?
Yep.
Okay. So if you were to follow him, he's just heading back to the. He's heading back to the warehouse where your gang lair is.
Probably once Casper gets a good eye that he is heading back to the warehouse, he'll kind of creep up closer to him so that he can speak with him.
Sure. What do you say to him?
You ain't betraying us now, are you?
You know, people generally open with, like, hello, how are you? I've not seen you for a while. No, if I was betraying you, I wouldn't be walking down the road.
We have a mole.
Excellent.
The others have gone to find out some information. Somebody killed the targets that we robbed. We've all been contacted by somebody different.
Same here. I followed them back to where they were based.
Did you find
Maybe the same
anything?
people that contacted you. In Silkshaw near the Spark Grounds. I didn't go in. I wasn't sure how many there were.
They have my contacts the same as yours in the Silk Grounds. Mine was an inspector.
So multiple groups then. Oops.
Yes, whoever has ratted us out has told everybody, it would seem. We need to stay off the streets.
Right.
Don't know who is on our back now. And as he says that, he's gonna disappear down like the nearest alleyway and get back up to the rooftops to head back over to the others.
Okay, you're not deliberately trying to avoid Nicholas, are you? So
No, I'm not avoiding
no.
Nicholas, no.
sure.
Avoiding everybody else, yes.
Yeah. And you kind of climb up back onto the rooftops and are you heading back to the warehouse? Is that the plan?
No,
Or are you going-
I've mentioned to Nicholas where the others were heading, and we're gonna meet up.
Okay. It appears, then, Nicholas, that you're about to infiltrate a blue coat precinct in 6,000.
This seems like a perfectly good plan. It could not go wrong.
Yes, exactly. It's time to lay low.
Yeah, I'm not even sure what we're gonna find. What we're looking for. But here we go.
Cool. So I think we're going to jump straight to what kind of plan is this? Is this going to be like an infiltration? Is it an assault? Are you going in guns blazing? Are you going in sneakily? Like
I'd say this is gonna be a sneaky one
yeah. It kind of
because we don't even know who we're up against at this point. We're just trying to gather intel more than anything.
yeah.
Might even be a bit of social engineering.
Sure. I mean, what would that entail?
Sending Ange through the front door.
It worked so well last time.
Send
And then
Ashlyn
the
through
second
the front
heist
door.
can be and the second heist can be freeing Ashlyn from the jail.
You know,
Do you have any
same
blue
place.
coat contacts?
No,
No.
I don't.
That was so handy when I had that before.
I don't think we want to talk to my blue coat contacts.
I also think the only contact I have is kind of adjacent, and you don't want to talk to them either.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're looking at this blue coat building.
Yeah.
Is it a big one or a small one?
It's oddly enough, it's kind of an old mansion that was built some time ago that's now been repurposed for the Bluecoats. It's a 3-story building. You probably assume there is a basement also. There's not probably a lot of information you would know necessarily about it, other than from what you can observe from outside. And it's quite a big place. It's not. It was obviously quite it belonged to quite a wealthy person at one point, whoever it was. look over here in Six Towers. So it is right next to several other buildings as well, which have been repurposed. They were also once quite wealthy townhouses, but now they are repurposed into flats for people that don't have quite so much money. It is Six Towers, so there's this strange kind of noise that you can hear, almost whispering, that's kind of subliminally in your heads when you enter this district. It seems a little bit colder, and there are a few kind of fires that are kind of in the street. A few people kind of gathered around them. They kind of look around furtively, periodically, every now and again. These people, as if they are expecting something. They're kind of looking over their shoulders, like they're hearing voices themselves. People speak to them. People rush backwards and forwards. They're clutching these spirit-bane charms as they do so. It's the whole ambience is quite disturbing.
Could I attune to maybe see if I can get an idea of a better idea of what's causing this sort of disparity?
You certainly could, if you want. What is it you're looking for in particular? I mean, Six Towers is just a creepy place. Everybody kind of knows it. Be that this is where the Dimmer sisters kind of knock around here and like that. So it is. It's just got this kind of weird vibe.
Otherworldly vibe. Yeah.
I turn round to Solomon and ask him about the. Was it Solomon that had the shadow door thing?
You all kind of were able to do that. It's part of your crew's ability, isn't it? To
we have a secret entrance through the ghost field.
Yeah.
Nice. But yeah, it's just an idea to try to get a better feel for what. I don't know. Yeah, if it's a general thing, it's probably not that relevant, but I don't know, it might be. I don't know.
Yeah, I think I'd need you to be more specific if we were going to try and get some information out of that.
Okay, because I just thought it was a bit like around the precinct rather than the entire district.
Okay, no, it's not. There's nothing specific around the precinct that's kind of more intense or anything like that than the rest of the district. The district is just fucking creepy.
Yeah.
And everybody feels it too. You can see that from the way they're kind of these looks over their shoulder as they're kind of walking along the street.
Yeah.
Spirit-bane charms, and they're standing around these open fires trying to warm themselves. Everybody just looks like they're kind of a little bit on edge, as if there's something not quite right, and you hear it yourself. As I say, like these whispering voices that are kind of just off behind you somewhere. Kind of like, I suppose, like Gwen is to a degree, but less obvious. And everybody can kind of get that feel as well. The precinct itself is brightly lit. All of the lights are on inside. You can see light coming from nearly all of the windows. It's clearly there are people within. And maybe even that is slightly comforting compared to the rest of the district.
Yeah.
So is it, in terms of the kind of score this is going to be, is this basically an infiltration? Is then you're going in quietly and
possibly
I guess to try and find. I think we'll just have to find out what they know about the situation, or like their sources, like who they've spoken to, that kind of thing.
So I turn and sort of say, chances are we need to get into the cellars.
Why so?
Fuller's place to store bodies.
Is also the coolest place.
So you're saying cellars also drink and smoke?
Exactly.
So maybe we should look.
Yeah.
Right, we need to look for check out for cellar entrance. If we can't get a cellar entrance, we're gonna have to spirit door, magic door in, shadow door, ghost door, whatever it's called.
Yeah, it'll be a ghost door, but just had it.
Yeah. Anybody else have anything to add to this?
Casper would probably attempt to scout the building out as much as possible.
Yeah.
Again, getting up high on the roofs to try and assess the building from every angle he
Sure.
can.
To get a better layout, because like the bodies are one thing, but like I think probably all we could figure out from the bodies is like the cause of death, whereas we want to see what other info they have about those three being murdered, like which may need like a records room or something.
Do we have did we have a map of the basements of this particular part of the city?
I don't think we looked for, or anybody asked specifically for anything like that before we went ahead to score. So I'm gonna say probably not.
We not do the
Flashback. Somebody wants to go for the stress, I guess.
I'll flashback. Yeah, I'll take that. Given that we are shadows, we have access, knowledge, maps, passkeys, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And so we would have utilized the connections that we have. And given that this was used to be a residential place, we found the records of it in the equivalent of the city hall.
Sure. Okay. I think this is probably going to cost stress.
Yep.
oopsie.
If someone wants to do that flashback and then describe the going into the Hall of Records. Wait, you just did, so that's very
Yeah.
I think it's too stress.
Yep.
And so, yeah, you kind of get a basic layout. You know that the top floor is basically made up of there's kind of like a small barracks for the blue coats on the top floor. On the second floor, the first floor, for us as Brits, there is like an evidence room. I have an evidence locker, and there'll be the records will be in a separate room from that as well. That's where they'd have the files for the crimes and things like that. There is a small kind of mortuary type thing in the basement. Those kind of things haven't been used in quite a while, so you're not quite sure what state of repair they would be in. That's what the map would. That's what the layout would suggest in the basement, which is Ashlyn suggested. Yeah, and the ground floor is the main entrance. There's like there will be an entranceway with a desk and a desk sergeant, if you like, that will be sat there, and also there's like a larger area which is set aside for with various desks for the blue coats that would be carrying out their investigations. That's where they would sit.
On this thingamajiggy that we got from the what's it, did it have like an entrance for a cellar? You know, like, because if it's an old mansion, cellars used to sometimes have like drop things for dropping in.
There is no basement entrance. What you would find possibly round the back, there is a small window. That would allow you access into the basement, but it is small. It would take the smallest of you to get through there. Possibly Nicholas. I mean, he's not necessarily a small guy, but he's trained to get into these kind of smaller spaces, unlike the rest of you. I imagine Slip's quite a big guy, so he probably would struggle to get through that way.
Is there any back doors that if we send Slip in, he could go and open a back door?
I mean, there is a back door. There is most definitely a small back door.
Question: could Casper send Umbra in through this window to check if the bodies are actually down there?
No, because it's just sending an NPC in to do the job.
Well,
I'm
we're
gonna
just
say,
checking the bodies are there.
if you're thinking of what, sending Umbra in through this window,
Yeah.
I mean, somebody would have to open the window for her, maybe. When we're not, I'm not quite sure of the limit of her abilities and how smart she actually is.
Wait, hold on a minute. Are we over planning this? Should we just go? Do we need to go just go do this?
Well, yeah, I mean,
Well,
perhaps
the
maybe
problem
just a little.
is we can't just exactly walk in if the police think that we did it. And
That's why we're going in through the window, surely.
That's why we're going to sneak in through the back.
Yeah, but we can't all fit in through the window.
No, we're going to
Well,
send
we
Nicholas
decided
in.
this is an infiltration thing. We'll make a roll, and we'll see what happens from there. That's the deal. That's kind of how
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Are we attacking at day, or are we going to attack at night when it might be less busy?
I feel like we shouldn't use the term attack for an infiltration.
Also,
I'm just predicting what will happen.
Isn't that big Also, night and day isn't that big a difference.
That's true.
Is it possible we could probably lure them out? Or maybe make them want to bring us in?
Well,
this is all
we
part
could
of
create
what you're
distraction
planning to do.
outside.
If this is an infiltration, you're probably not necessarily doing what you've just suggested.
I think send Nicholas in, get him to the back door, get us in, search the bodies, read the bodies' heads.
Okay, so that's kind of what we're going with then, and so I think it's going to be 1D, one dice. We're going to see what the starting situation is like. Now these are most definitely a higher tier than you guys are, so you may say that it's daring. I'd say it was a daring
I'd say
thing
it was
you were
down
trying
in
to
this
do.
police station.
Yeah.
You chose this.
Yeah.
Not me!
And I'm gonna. I think you probably, because of some of the ideas that you've put forward to me, I think it might be a bonus dice. You've got Umbra, which may be able to scout areas out for you a little bit before you go in. You have the map of the layout of the room, so I think that certainly those two will probably give you a bonus die for this thing as well in your starting situation. Do you agree? Is that
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah.
Okay? So I'll roll that. So you're not in a desperate position. This is pretty good, isn't it? This is a standard.
We're actually going in quite well for once.
Risky standard, yeah. So
Didn't break the window and alert the whole building.
no, you didn't. So the idea is that you're sending our friend Nicholas in first. Is that the plan? You want him to go and open the back door, effectively.
Not that we asked him.
I am the little one.
Yeah. So here we are then, Nicholas. You are at this window, basically, effectively, at the kind of looking through this grimy window that's very difficult to make out what's going on inside, but there's no light from the other side of it.
Yeah.
And it's quite grimy, as I say, so it doesn't look like it's been used in quite a while. This looks like it's going to be your best way into the building.
Alright. I'll just sort of examine the edges of the frame, figure out if I can open it. Is it an opening window normally?
You can probably do that without too much difficulty, because of who you are.
Yeah. In that case, I'll slip something around the edge and open it, and
You pop that window. It opens. It's very, very narrow. Probably like this big. But
I
that's
can
not
fit
going to be
through
any
that.
problem for you, right? And you slide into a darkened room. It's quite musty smelling. There are a few kind of boxes that are stacked up on shelves and scattered across the floor. They're all covered in dust. This place hasn't been used in quite some time. There's a door ahead of you that you make out. There's a small window above it. you can make out there's a small bit of light that's kind of coming through there. There's some kind of room or corridor beyond. The door's just a standard wooden door. It's no big deal.
I'll just step up to the door and then stop and listen to it for a moment.
Sure. You hear there is movement down in this basement. The corridor outside is fairly quiet. And if you were to give me and have a quick look over the top, you can actually see through this window. You can see the corridor. It's lit. It's not brightly lit. There are kind of a couple of other rooms that are kind of leading off from this corridor. And if you kind of press your head against the glass, you can kind of make out some stairs leading up. It kind of darkens just beyond that.
Yeah. I'll just crack the door open, quickly check if there's anybody in the corridor around, and then step out.
Yeah. You can hear maybe some muttering from the corridor down to your right. There are 3 doors on either side of the corridor as you're looking down it. You're kind of on the 4th door on the end of this wall. To the left, as I say, there's a staircase that seems to lead up into darkness. The far end of the corridor to the right, you can see a larger, like double doors. They have small kind of windows in them, like round windows of kind of a frosted glass. There's some speech that's kind of coming through there. You can hear some mumbled voices. They seem to be... you hear an occasional laugh as well, like that maybe they're just having a bit of banter in there, whoever they are.
Alright. I'll quickly scan around for any signs on the doors or on the corridor. Because that would be helpful.
It would, wouldn't it? Yeah, why not? The door on the far end that you can make out is the only one that actually has a sign on it. And it does kind of say something original like morgue or something.
Helpful.
Yes.
Right.
The others are darkened. You can see the glass above the doors. It's all dark along those. There's nothing in them whatsoever.
Yeah. And the voices are coming from the morgue.
From the far end, yeah. You can actually make out light that's kind of coming through those round windows. That means.
Yeah. Okay. I'll step up a bit closer to the door and try and walk up in a way that I'm not obscuring light that will be shining through the windows from my side.
All right.
And just sort of get a bit closer and listen and try and figure out if those voices are in that room or if they're further along.
Oh, they are most definitely in that room. And as you kind of approach, you can see that the light is flickering slightly, as if there's maybe not electronic lighting in there, maybe candle light even, possibly oil lamp. Whatever it is, it's like some kind of naked flame that's generating the light that's in that room.
Yeah.
It's not ever so bright, and judging by the state of the corridor that you're in, this isn't an area that gets used very often.
Can I tell what they're saying at all?
They appear to be kind of just having some general banter, as I say. Occasionally, the occasional laugh at a joke. And then perhaps you're hearing something like something along the lines of, "You thought this place will be haunted, wouldn't you? For all this time, but then nobody's been down here for ages. Or if there were any ghosts down here, they'd have showed themselves by now."
Right. I'm going to make my way back to the room I entered through.
Yep.
Back towards that window and just wave down whoever's nearby. I'm hoping another member of the crew hasn't wandered off.
Well, I'm just actually kind of wondering, what's the rest of the crew doing at this point? You've sent Nicholas in. He's gone in through this lower floor window. Is anybody else doing anything other than that?
Casper will have taken up a vantage point where he can oversee the whole area and probably provide any cover fire if needed. If
Are you on a
anything
roof?
Yeah, oh
Nearby?
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's cool. What about anybody else? What about Slip, Ashlyn, and Solomon? What's the deal?
Slip's gone to the door.
I think we wait. Yeah, I think we were
You're at
waiting
the
for him
back
to
door.
open the door for us.
You're all
Yeah.
Ashlyn.
Keeping a lookout, but looking,
Yeah.
watching
Yeah,
but
yeah.
at the back
You-
door, in the shadows.
I just turned to the others. Do we need a distraction around the front, or should we just wait here?
Just wait here, you'll do it.
I'll just slink into the shadows and wait by the door.
Okay, it's all on you then, Nick.
Unless I can fit in the window. I mean,
Now you described Ashlyn as being quite tall, I think.
did I? Go
I
ahead.
think you did.
Is it a deep window or a wide window?
It's actually quite just. Alright, it's not deep.
Yeah.
I mean,
It
Ashlyn
depends on-
might
like-
be able to slip, but I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know. I mean,
Yeah, she might fit in. It might just take her a while to get to the other side.
yeah. I mean, Solomon might be able to slip in, perhaps. I don't know. I mean, Slip definitely is not. I mean, I imagine he's a
Yeah.
big, broad fella that is going to struggle to kind of get through that window.
Yeah, I think Solomon would do it as well. It's just
Yeah. Maybe Ashlyn, maybe.
Just you, Nicholas.
Yeah, it's all on you, mate.
trying to give him reinforcements, but he scuttles around the corridors of the police station like a mole.
I mean, maybe Ashlyn was right. Maybe a distraction of some kind. Who?
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, if the police turn up at this door, we definitely know we have a mole.
Oh, that was it. It was that was the plan. It was a trick, to lure out the mole. So Nicholas, it's all on you, mate. Sorry, mate.
It's unfortunate.
Yes, you are standing
add some
outside the
trust.
room that you came in. The stairs are ahead of you. From where you are, you can see they kind of go up. It's slightly dark, and they turn a corner. You assume they do the same thing again up to the first floor.
Yeah.
And in fact, you know that because you've already got the plans. And they lead to another corridor, which will terminate at the end of a. There'll be another door which will be locked from this side, which will lead out into the front entranceway, if you like. There are offices on the next level where the blue coats have their desks.
All right then. I'll sorry. I'll head straight up the stairs, walking confidently. I'm not looking like
Yeah.
I'm sneaking around.
Oh, okay. You're not disguising this.
But
Sure.
I'll go. I'll just walk straight up to the first floor, up to where the records room is.
Ah, right. Okay. So you make your way up the stairs. And it is like a kind of spiral that leads up to the next floor. I would like you to make some kind of roll here. I'm wondering if it's just a fortune roll is what we need, because what are the odds that somebody's not going to be walking these corridors? What do you think, folks? There's people in corridors and offices, right, all the
Oh,
time.
yeah.
Yeah,
Moving quite a
people.
lot.
Yeah, but
as
this,
well.
is, but this is a police station, not an office, so there wouldn't be anyone.
So I'm going to make a fortune roll here of a single dice.
Oh.
You make your way up the stairs. As you kind of reach the ground
So
floor,
far.
you're looking down the corridor, and you see a blue coat. He's just kind of coming through the door at the far end that leads into the main entrance. He kind of steps through. He kind of looks at you momentarily. He's got this quizzical expression on his face. What do you do?
I'll just keep on walking up the stairs.
Okay. He says, "Excuse me, sir."
Yes. I'll stop.
Who are you, and what are you doing here?
I'm sort of lost, actually. I was told to come back here and give a statement, and I appear to have misplaced myself looking for the bathroom.
It's this way, sir.
Ah, thank you. I'll go in the direction he's indicating.
Okay, and he's pointing back towards the front entrance here.
That's fine.
Damn it.
Yeah. Outside, it's been a while. Been a little while now before, and Nicholas has still not appeared.
I try the door.
Yeah, not again.
Okay. I think. Can you roll me a 6-sided dice, mate?
Oh.
I mean, I don't know if you the dice on the side there, or if it's just GMs on the menu. The very bottom, there's a couple of dice. Do you see those? Ow!
Do I do that again?
You got a green number there.
Yeah, let's do that again.
You made a 1d6 rather than a 66.
That's the one.
Oh, fuck it. It's the same number. 2.
Right.
Oh dear. And
Okay,
there it goes.
I could suggest a second option.
Right.
We'll see what happens with this first.
It is locked, Slip, as you try it. You get a feeling that maybe this door isn't particularly strong. I mean, who's going to break into a police station, right?
Who would do that?
Maybe they're trying to lull you into a false sense of security.
Where are the
They've
hinges?
set up all the police stations to be a trap.
Does it swing?
We're outside and we.
Yeah, it swings it inward. That would kind of make more sense, possibly. Unless, I don't know, what do you reckon? Where would you like them to be?
I could try at option 3 before we decide to kick the door in, because that'll create a lot of noise.
Yeah, we're
I like the
professionals.
idea. I like to kick the door in.
I would
We're
like to.
professionals. I know that. I stand back. Solomon.
I'd like to kindly ask you two to look away. For your own benefit.
What's he gonna do?
I've got to use compel to force a ghost to find the key for this door and unlock it.
All right. What does that look like?
Well, it's what?
Well, I mean, you're going to use compel. What happens
it
to?
feels like...
What
Oh, my
what is,
God, yeah.
what does it look like when Solomon tries this? I mean, he's going to try and summon a spirit that's nearby.
So I guess he's gonna stand with his hand sort of palm up, sort of out either side. I think he's gonna close his one normal eye, and then this other eye is gonna sort of start become like a glow, like on the profile picture.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, because I kind of get the feeling that because of the ambient chill here, that the ghost field is either close or strong or whatever the definition would be.
Yeah.
To try and reach, to try and kind of uses his will to reach out and try and find a ghost nearby that he could pull into.
Okay. I think this requires a roll. You say you use compel. Attune. Yeah. Sure. And we're going to try and drag a...
Yeah. So no modifier, risky and standard?
Yes, I think so.
Alright. Here goes nothing.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Nice. 6. No, 3.
Excellent. So this Ashlyn and Slip, they kind of turn away. I guess they
probably feel like
you
a
guys know
very
what's
strong
going to
chill.
happen, right?
Yeah, imagine because of the whole ambient chill, they probably feel like a temperature, even more of a temperature drop around.
Sure.
Behind them when they're looking away.
Breath, you kind of notice it kind of appearing more and more in front of you as you're breathing out. And you can feel that it's a bit similar to when you were in Leachy's house, that kind of feeling of static electricity, and all the hairs on your arms kind of stand up. and you know that there's something here. There's a presence. Maybe you even hear Solomon speaking to it in some creepy fashion.
Yeah.
Is that a and are you just basically saying, go and unlock the door? Is that the deal, or open the door from the other side?
Yeah. So the idea was like because I have to give it a command.
Yeah.
So it's like you need to find the key for this lock and open this lock so we can get inside.
Okay.
Because
Well-
the thing is, that's compelled, so it's like it doesn't sound like it's just sort of like a bargain. It's more like it's just like a force of will, like making
It
you
is.
do what you wanted to do.
And I think perhaps
Yeah.
what the deal is here is that the door is bolted from the other side, and you hear it slide across.
Yeah.
And then that chill kind of subsides slightly.
Yeah. Like be at peace.
Yeah, as this thing F's
Yeah.
off. And yeah, perhaps
Yeah.
if Slip tries the door again, that it perhaps
Yeah.
it opens then.
So he
Cool.
kicks it in anyway. Just
We're professionals.
You tell the proper
Yes,
violence.
because-
Yeah, just-
We're professionals.
Style over substance, mate.
yeah.
We're
Um,
You kick
professionals.
the door in,
Jesus.
something behind you explodes.
We're professionals.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
we got
so-
the door open.
that door kind of
You
swings
just have,
open.
yeah.
Casper, from your vantage point where you are, you kind of see this light kind of spill out from that back door. It's been quite a while, and you haven't seen any sign of Nicholas yet. Where you
He's gonna
are.
come around the corner with a police escort, isn't he?
Yeah. Is that suspicious?
I mean, is Casper actually keeping watch, or just pretending to be Batman?
Yeah. Casper will be keeping a watch on like all the building, looking through all the windows to kind of see anybody or track anything that might be important, or essentially to give a heads up if there's something gonna go wrong.
Right. Okay. So you're not actively getting involved, but if shit hits the fan, you can maybe cause a distraction or hurt people
Yes.
in such a way as that. Right. Okay. The door swings open, Slip, as you kind of push it forward. There is a bit of light behind it. The corridor is lit. You've got that kind of a slightly blue tinge to it. There's electroplasmic lighting up here on this floor. There's a very short corridor that you can see kind of ends in a corridor running perpendicular to it from where you are.
No stairs.
Not that you can see at this point. But when if you go in, you've there's a very
Yeah.
short corridor, maybe 10 feet.
So I look
Um,
at Solomon and say, "Good job. Let's go." I'm just walking.
Okay, and you enter this short corridor. There's another corridor that kind of, as I say, runs perpendicular to it. And this seems to be a corridor that runs kind of the length of the building almost. You can see on the far end there is a door. You've seen the layout for this building.
Mhm.
You know that on this floor, you've got this corridor. It runs kind of the length of the building almost. The far end, it does terminate at a door, which is where you've got the entrance hall.
Mhm.
The other end ends at a staircase that leads up or down.
Yep. Head to the
A winding
staircase.
And perhaps as you kind of stick and look around that corner, you can probably hear, as you enter that building, before you look round the corner, you probably hear somebody go, "What are you doing, mate?" or whatever it was the guy had said, and you hear Nicholas's voice replying. And then you see him walk past
Towards the
you
front. Okay.
towards the main entrance.
Yeah. Well, we use that distraction and walk down to the stairs.
Okay. I think we're going to need an ability check from whoever is doing this. You're attempting. What is it? You're actually being sneaky. Is that the idea? You're going to
Yeah.
try and slip past. Okay. What ability do you want to use for that? Does
Prowl.
anybody want to lead some kind of action? Who's going in?
I'll follow Slip.
I have no prowl, so I should probably go last or separate.
Well, it depends. If somebody wants to
Do a
remember,
group
if somebody
prowl.
wants
I've
to
got
lead
2
a
on
team
prowl.
action, somebody
Yeah.
wants to lead a team action.
Team
They
action.
roll, and you all roll, but whoever kind of fails, the leader of the team takes the stress.
Yeah, I'll
Okay.
do it then. Oh, I've got 2 on
'Cause
prowl.
I think Slip.
I'm just-
Are you taking the
Yeah.
lead, Slip?
No, when I see that happen, when I see the voices, I slink back and say, Ashlyn, you better go ahead. You're quieter than me.
Okay, so you're going to lead this action.
I slip round him, crouch down and listen, and then start to inch forward and do a prowl, group prowl.
So, as Nicholas walks past the corridor there, Bluecoat turns his back, and at that point, that's when you'll move. So if you all want to roll his prowl, is it?
Yeah,
Okay.
prowl.
Everybody has to roll prowl.
Risky.
This is, I think it's most definitely risky.
Okay.
It will be
Standard effect.
I
Okay.
think so.
6 from me.
Wow! Wow!
Whoa! Look at that.
Okay. So I have to roll without a pip in it. So I just it's just
Basically, what will happen here is it will roll.
You keep
take
lowest.
the lowest.
Yeah. Does it make it desperate by chance? No, that's just a position.
No, it doesn't do anything like that.
Lame.
Oh.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Lowest.
Okay, I'm not sure why everybody's showing up as crew. That's bizarre.
No, I came up as Ashlyn.
Yeah. Okay, so there's no stress taken. How cool is that? So, as you kind of see Nicholas back as he makes his way towards the main entrance of the building, and you kind of all disappear around the corner and make your way to the stairs. Which direction are you heading? On the stairs. You get to the stairs with no problem.
I need to try and
You want
go.
to go up or down?
We want the
I-
bodies.
You do.
Well-
Well, there's the bodies are downstairs. You know
Down.
that.
Yep.
And the records are on the next floor.
As in up.
I want. Well, Slip wants to get.
Slip.
We'll stay together. It'll be safety in numbers.
Yeah, we want to get Solomon to the bodies so he can. He can.
Solomon doesn't want to roll.
Nicholas will be
Interrogate
fine.
them.
He'll get out of this. Poor old Nicholas. I'm gonna
I'm
rough
not
it
entirely
up.
sure what I'm going to do with the bodies, but we'll see. At least I
heading
can study
down.
them.
But didn't
Yeah.
you say you could talk to their souls or
There's
Yeah.
no
something?
ghosts. I don't think they have any ghosts to talk to.
That's the problem. Yeah.
Do we know that yet,
Some-
though?
Well, I mean,
That's
would know
my-
that.
I'm
my
going to
sus-
assume. I'm going to
that's
assume you
my
do know
suspicion.
Ah, okay. Well,
that because Solomon would know. It was very
Yeah.
unusual for the bodies to be taken here and taken to the crematorium.
Yeah, because they would have been taken to the crematorium like within a day.
Go and
of-
check the bodies out, and then if
We
we
would
can't
have
get
talked
anything from
about
the
this.
bodies, we'll go
Yes, you would
upstairs.
have. Yeah.
Yeah.
we would have talked about this.
But,
though,
but there might be something else we could tell from examining them anyway.
right. Well, Slip
We'll
just
see what
looks
we
at
can find.
Solomon and says, "Well," and Ashlyn, he just
You quick downstairs.
because I'm right behind. It's just like,
Yeah.
where are we going?
Down
Just
the
go to the
stairs.
bodies. At least we can find out cause of death and see if there's anything else strange going on with them.
Let's
So
go.
we
Yes.
can head to the records.
Yeah, that's cool.
Whisper.
You make your way down the stairs. Down at the bottom of the stairs, there is a corridor. There's a few doors leading off it. All of those doors are. There's no light coming from the windows above them. At the far end, there are double doors with round windows in. They have got like frosted glass, but you can make out a flickering light that's coming through those. Nicholas, you are following this. Bluecoat's turned his back as he's making his way back to the door that leads to the main entrance. He's turned his back to you.
That's fine. I'm still going to follow him. He's leading
Oh,
you.
okay. Yeah. All right then. Um. Casper, you have witnessed these people, your group. They've kind of managed to go in through the back. And this back door is opened mysteriously, and then you see the three of them disappear. You may assume that Nicholas has unlocked it. Do you want to do anything else? Are you just going to sit and watch from where you are?
Do I see them heading up to the next floor?
You can't see them at all. Once they go into that main entrance, the back door there, they kind of disappear from your view momentarily. Is there anything else you wanted to do?
Not really. I'd say he's just more keeping an overwatch of the whole area.
Okay, then I think maybe you should roll me a d6
Oh, okay.
as a fortune roll.
Just ignore the d6.
Yeah.
Oh, look at us with the rolls.
Okay. You see somebody coming around from the front of the building. There's a small alleyway that separates the precinct from the building next to it, with a small gate. You see that gate kind of opening, and you see a blue coat kind of stepping through. As he steps through, he kind of lights a cigarette, which illuminates the area a little. And you see him kind of standing there. It's just one blue coat. He stops, as I say, momentarily, takes a deep drag on this cigarette, and then breathes out this big plume of smoke before making his way towards the back of the building.
Casper's gonna try and intercept him.
All right, how are you going to do that?
He's going to try to drop down on him and take him out, but not kill.
The killing would depend how the dice roll goes.
And just to knock him out.
He didn't kill him. Umbra did.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, how high up are you when you drop?
I don't know how has the rooftop opposite the building.
100 feet.
It's a mansion.
We don't worry about such things, do we?
Yeah.
Oh no, because if he's quite high, by the time he drops down, it could kill him.
He's got a coat. He
I
can
would
use
love
it as a
it.
parachute.
I would love it if we come back with all the records, and there's this Casper with his legs just broken into like splinters beneath him.
So let's try and
Superhero
work out how we're going to
landing!
do this. Now, you want to drop down on this guy.
Yeah, he might, he's hoping that there'll be like some balconies that he can get a little bit lower down, and then get above the guy and drop down onto in the back alley.
Of course, there's balconies that you can drop down onto, and there's like a fire escape that kind of up down the side of this building. You can make a jump down onto that, and then perhaps drop down onto this guy. You want to use this guy to break your fall or something? Is that the plan? Okay.
Break his legs instead.
This is definitely going to be some kind of ability check, I think. I know. I mean, what is it that you're thinking? I mean, in terms of how you're going to do this, this is going to be
This is finesse.
It doesn't sound like finesse to me. It sounds like the very opposite.
Yeah.
There's
a lot of finesse in it, making sure that the guy, that the target's like internal organs aren't pierced by his like leg bones.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because obviously
I'm aiming for a very specific part of that person that I'm going to drop down onto.
He's going to try and grab the guy as he lands on him to push them down to the ground.
Okay.
So, yeah. It's like a cold shot with gravity.
Okay, and you want to use finesse for this? Is that what you're saying?
I was thinking about it. Yeah.
I mean, hell, why think about it? You're supposed to be reckless. We're gonna. Okay, so you want to use finesse. The idea being that you were trying to do a very specific thing.
Yes.
From a
quietly.
height.
From a height.
And do it quietly. But you know what? Fuck it. Yes. All right then. Let's do it. This is going to be desperate.
No shit, Sherlock.
Yeah. This is desperate. But I think it will have great effect because you're basically going to land on this guy from a great height.
And not kill him.
We can't guarantee that, but I think it will have great effect. It's going to be basically like there's going to be a large weight dropping on this guy from a height.
Yes.
Yeah. Right. So I mean,
Yeah.
finesse is an interesting one, but yes, go with it. Let's say.
Yeah.
Don't roll a 1.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Yeah. It's like 40 with less time to acceleration.
You got consequences with them.
Okay. You drop down. You leap down onto this fire escape balcony in front of you, and without breaking step, you then jump again over the railing, and you kind of drop down onto this guy as he kind of comes through. He's just drawn another breath of his cigarette, and then suddenly,
This is why I
big
spoke
cloud
about
of
you.
smoke. Yeah, kind of comes of him. As you land directly on top of him.
Yeah.
And he it's just kind of splayed out. Unfortunately, it's quite a height. Maybe you weren't quite expecting to be high, or you expected him to break your fall a little bit more. you kind of twist your ankle as
That's not too
you
bad.
hit him.
Twist an ankle.
Actually, saying that, this was great effect. This is just going to be standard effect because you actually have a mind. Oh, it's only in your hand, isn't it? The harm.
Yes.
Taking.
Yeah.
Okay, so ignore that. So it's going to be great effect. Yeah, he basically collapses underneath you. You maybe hear a slight crack of bone as you do this, and you take a second to realize that it's not yours, which is good.
That's good. Yeah.
And there's this cloud of cigarette smoke that's kind of floating around you. And this poor fella is in a crumpled heap beneath you.
Is he unconscious?
That's what the intention was, right?
It was, yeah.
Yeah. He's out of it. Let's put it that way.
Um,
Do you hear any bells ring?
there's no bells.
No. Give it another 5 minutes.
It was great effect, wasn't it?
Yes.
It was a part. No.
Oh,
You're gonna take a level 1 harm. Your level 1 harm is twisted ankle.
Yep.
But this guy is he's kind of still breathing.
Good. Casper will want to quickly hide him away somewhere.
Okay, you want to just drag him off into the shadows somewhere. You can do that without too much difficulty. Fabulous. Right, guys. Nicholas, you are following this blue coat as he kind of leads you through. He opens the door out into the main entrance. You can kind of make out this kind of bench seat down the far wall. There's a desk where the desk sergeant would be, just beyond that on the right. And he kind of opens this door. He looks around. Does he still see Nicholas standing there?
Yeah. I'm
Oh, okay.
following the man out.
Yeah. Yeah. He says, "It's this way, sir."
I'll just keep following him. I'll just be like, yes. I recognize this room now. I got
you
lost back there.
Yes. Well, it's easy done, sir, isn't it? You step out into the entrance hall. Like I say, there's a couple of benches. You see this bench that was ahead of you. There's also one along the near wall to your left. There's a couple of people that are just kind of sat on it, looking forlorn. There's a desk sergeant that's he's kind of sitting at the desk, which is designed to sit him higher up than everybody else that's sat in this room. He kind of looks down at you. There's hello? What's going on?
Hello. I was lost. I'm now not lost. Goodbye.
Not lost. Goodbye.
Now, I think there may be something at risk here.
You've got to have to do something.
And I think I would like you to make some kind of roll.
That's what I
What is it
like
you're
to roll for
trying to
going out
do
the
with
door.
Are you? What is it? What are you doing? I mean, this is the idea: is you kind of describe what it is you're doing, and then we kind of figure out what ability it is that you're using to do whatever it is you're doing.
Pretty much. If there's a straight shot to the front door, I'm just going to walk out the front door. As soon as it's got me into this entranceway, I'm just going to walk straight out the door.
Okay. I think. You know what? I can't think of anything. You do that, and you kind of walk straight out this door, and this guy at the desk, he's kind of looking at you, and you kind of feel his eyes burrowing into the back of your head as you kind of make your way to the front door. And you know that he's got this thing going through the head like, who the fuck was that?
Oh, you know, he sees lots of faces. I'm sure you want to remember.
And the next thing you know, you're kind of standing outside the front door. Light is spilling out from the double doors that you've just walked through. Some steps leading down to the street. And maybe, just in the distance, perhaps you hear some kind of noise.
That's perfectly normal around here.
It is perfectly normal around here, above the whispering that's actually kind of going off in the back of your head. So, Slip and Solomon and Ashlyn, you are making your way down the stairs. You're at this corridor with the double doors at the far end. That, is where the morgue would have been back in the olden days. What do you want to do? You can, as you approach these doors, if you do, there are voices coming from beyond.
Bugger. Oh, bugger.
I go up to the doors to have a look inside to see who's in there. I kind of just
pushing
sidle
the
up
door
sideways and no, I just look through you said there was
Okay.
a window in.
I get
Yeah,
my
it's kind of a frosted
trans
glass.
powder out in my hand.
Okay, excellent. There's kind of like it's stuff like a frosted glass. You can just make out maybe two figures
I just
that are
tap
kind of moving. There is a light that's flickering through there. You kind of know. You can pretty much gather that there is some kind of lantern on a table, and these two guys are kind of sat around it. You can hear them talking.
I just crack the door open just a sliver to see if it's like like the wind or something. Because is it double doors
It
like
is
that?
double. Yeah.
So I just kind of just tap it and I look in to see if I can see any sign of how many folk are in there or who they are, what they're wearing.
Your assumptions were correct. There are two. They can see them. They're kind of sat. There's like a table in the middle. There's like an oil lamp on there. This room doesn't look like it's been used in a very long time. And these two guys are sat opposite each other. They look a little bit bored.
Can I see can I see slabs, bodies?
You can see like maybe drawers that would keep bodies contained in them. They're a little bit rusty. It's quite dusty in there as well. But maybe you see a couple of them that look like they've perhaps been more recently used.
I go back to the other two and just very quietly I say, two.
Got my trans powder. I can go in, blow it on them, and then they'll be subjectable to what I want them to do.
Yep. And I say, and just in case that doesn't happen, I just see from the swords.
He gonna fuck someone up.
I walk up to the door and I load my trans powder into my hands,
Yep.
ready. And
Okay.
and then I get ready to go into the door.
Okay. Push the door open.
Oh no.
And I push the door open with my back, so I go in backwards.
Okay. And you hear a little bit of
I turn
Oh,
around and go, "Hello, guys." I just get close to them and their faces.
All right. Excellent. I just want to know what Solomon's doing at this point.
He's just keeping a low profile to see what the other two get up to.
Okay. Ashlyn, this is going to be some kind of skill roll, I think. You're trying to throw trans powder over both of them.
Yeah, I've got it in both hands, so as I do it right in their face, so I literally go into their faces, almost like throw it.
Okay. Sure. Okay. One thing. Idari, you made a desperate action early, didn't you? Nicholas.
Yes.
You need to put a little tick in the flash for the ability. You know, the one that of the ability you used. Does that make sense? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Which ability did you use?
That makes sense. I'm trying to remember what my desperate action was.
Because
it'll be
Everybody on the chat shows up as crew, so I can't go back up and go, oh yeah, the ones that are me.
Yeah.
Be the only one that says desperate.
It was, I think it was a prowl, I think. I think there was a desperate prowl. Why is everybody showing up as crew? That's bizarre. We will
That's
look
because
into
it's
that.
alphabetically ahead of all of our names, apart from Ashlyn and Casper.
Oh, that's a good point. Why is it?
We all own that
Desperate
character,
Hunt.
and that's the character assigned to all of us for
It was
some reason.
Hunt.
Thank you.
Okay.
No,
We
that
can
wasn't
fix
me.
that.
Hang on. If it was Hunt, it was Casper.
Finesse.
It was. I think I got a feeling it was a prowl or something like that, maybe. But
Doesn't matter.
That was 21
okay.
days ago.
Feck.
I'll mark it down.
Yeah. I'm sure it was something. So Ashlyn is going to do something. What are you using? What ability is this, do you think?
Well, the thing is, it's a bit of a strange one because I would use maybe one. I'd have to use an ability to do it. So I would probably be finesse to actually do the actual. Because I'm like being very like.
Okay, right, yeah, that would make sense. But...
Yeah, and then one works. I would have to use sway.
Right. Well, we don't have to worry about that bit. We just got to see if this transpower is going to hit these guys. Now, when you came in, you said something to these people, didn't you? Right. So I think you there's an argument here to use sway. Possibly.
Don't need that argument.
Or no. In terms of you could maybe say that you were using sway to lull them into a false sense of security. So you can throw the power over them.
Birch just walked in and gone.
Or you
"Hi."
can just do like finesse and just try and catch them in the face. It's that kind of thing is what you need to be thinking about when you say that you're going to make an ability roll. So, which one do you want? What do you want to use to do this? What's the?
The sway would kind of catch him off guard, like, wow, there's a.
Yeah.
You know, I'll do.
All right.
I'd have to go sway finesse sway then, wouldn't I?
No. We're just going to do one roll. We don't care about the rest of it.
Okay, so sway then. I'll go with sway. Risky, standard.
I think this is risky. I think it's limited because you're trying to get two people.
On the sofa tonight.
Oh shit!
Oh, pissing hell!
2.
But it's kind of cool because it means that Slip gets to do something that he wants to do, which is fuck these guys up. So I'm. Look, we're not worried about this. This is cool. These guys, they're immediately suspicious. Actually, you kind of enter the room and you say, "Hello, boys," or whatever it was you said. They kind of stand up, which maybe you weren't expecting, and so you kind of throw this trans powder into the room, but it's kind of a bit too low. And they kind of stand up drawing, and they get ready with they've got like nightsticks that they've got in their hands all of a sudden as they stand up. As you kind of come through, one of them steps forward and smacks you on the. It brings it down on your arm. I think that's probably what it is. That's why you don't get to throw the powder the way you want. And so he It's only risky, so I guess it's going to be something like a bruised right arm, I think.
That's
So
effect.
let's go for a risky. No, it's probably a little bit higher than that. It's probably a sprain, isn't it? Sprained.
No, I just think it's.
It's level 2 harm.
No, I just think it's bruised.
Sprained right arm. Aren't I?
Right.
So Slip, you kind of see this
Mm.
as you're kind of standing there. Ashlyn yells out in pain, perhaps, as this guy hits her arm with his nightstick.
Yeah, I immediately roll in through the door with dual wielding my katana-like swords,
Yep.
my fine Iruvian blades that I've been
My
well
duck.
trained in, and I attempt to command them.
All right.
And I say, "Sit the fuck down, boys." And I am
Nice.
imposing, and
Yep.
I am every inch looking like I'm ready to slice their heads off.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds pretty terrifying. Let's let's see how well you do. You say it's commanded. You say.
Risky standard.
Yeah. I mean, technically, what I should have done is there should be a reduced effect because they are a higher tier than you.
Mm-hmm.
However, you have a special ability, do you not?
I do. I can take on groups of people and basically kick ass.
Yeah. And so I think this might be a good time to implement that. You might have to use some stress, I think, for this.
Yeah, I can engage a small gang on equal footing in close combat. So I will take
Yeah.
a point of stress. I push myself, or is it 2?
I think it's 2.
2,
If
yeah.
you're willing to take 2 points of stress, I think that we can. I think we can say. I think we need to create a clock for these guys too.
Mm-hmm.
On clocks.
I think we'll just go with. Just call them blue coats for now. It's gonna be. They're not major guys, so I'm gonna have a 4 o'clock, I think. So yeah, you want to go and do what you're gonna do
So risky and standard.
with your ability. I think. Yeah, I'm gonna say yeah. Command. Right. Okay. They kind of look at you as you kind of come through the door, and they are like, "Who the fuck are you?" And the other one takes a swing with his nightstick as you kind of come through the door. Sorry, Ashlyn. I forgot to say you could have resisted that damage, by the way, or attempt to. Remember, you can resist damage by taking stress. You roll the dice to resist. However much you roll, you take from 6, and that's how much stress you take. So basically, this guy has lashed out with his nightstick at as you try to you threaten them, Slip, and he tries to hit you on the shoulder, kind of about here, with his nightstick, which he does, unless you wish to resist.
I'll
Or
take
you
the
want to
pain.
take the damage. You want to take the damage. It's a level 2 harm, and it's going to be broken collarbone. Unless you want to
Oh,
resist
that's
it.
not pleasant.
But you
That's not
can
gonna
resist
help.
that. Level 2.
Sorry, you
is-
don't need your
is pretty
collarbones.
shitty.
They're just holding you back.
Yeah, go on. I'll try and resist it. What the
Okay.
fuck?
It's going to be. You're going to have to resist on. I think is it
Resolve.
prowess or it's prowess.
Okay. So I hit prowess.
So you roll prowess.
I'm now in desperate, right? My position is desperate.
It's not at the moment.
Okay.
This is just a normal roll. We just want to get the number.
Oh, for fuck's
You
sake.
take
shoot.
four stress.
Yeah.
You reduce
I
that.
think-
You reduce that
Thanks, Jade.
by one
Yeah.
level. So it's not a broken collarbone anymore. It's just a bruised shoulder or something.
Right, I've just gone
Horrendous.
+1. I've gone into trauma.
What?
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 You have.
No.
Oh shit.
No.
That's a first. Jesus Christ.
Did you not heal before?
Yeah, I definitely
Okay.
did.
Right.
Wait, we went in heels. How have you got?
I had 2 to start with.
Yeah.
Oh,
Um,
Let's just take. Shit.
I took 2
Shit.
for a flashback. I took 2.
shit.
I took 2 for
Could we have a flashback to say I
I
took
don't-
the flashback?
Are you thinking? Are you thinking about
Right.
the 2 for the? Are you thinking? Is that second 2 you're thinking of for the group stealth?
Yeah. No, you didn't.
You
lead
didn't
that.
take
I
that.
led it.
And
Yeah.
everybody won.
We
No,
won.
there was no stress taken there. This is something else, isn't it?
Yeah.
This is because you already had stress. You took some for the flashback. Was it?
mhm.
You took the flashback, and then you've taken another 4. Okay, so
Okay, so I've taken 2.
What?
So I've, Okay.
6 then,
So you're one short of trauma.
yeah.
which is still not
Sure.
good.
so what happens here then is basically Slip, you go down. This guy, he just somehow manages to hit you. And
Close.
it was like maybe a crack, and you kind of wince in pain, and you go down, and this guy kind of hauls you out towards the far corner of the room, and you're just kind of laying there motionless. And I think that's where we're going to leave it.
Oh.
Shit.
Yeah, right now.
Because I know what I was
Yeah.
gonna do next. Like the moment he goes down,
What
I
you're
just
gonna
like,
do, because we're gonna
Yeah.
start from that point, I think. Yeah.
it
So-
starts with C and rhymes with compel.
I think the
I
only
hope
thing
for the
I would
best.
do next would pull my blades out.
I mean, it didn't work for
Okay.
us.
Well, wow.
The one thing that Slip is good at.
No, but I mean, the cool thing is that getting a
I was
trauma
good at. It's fine.
gives you some kind of cool role play stuff that you can use at some point.
Yeah.
You get a greater opportunity for XP and stuff.
Yeah. The one thing I'm curious about is what happens when Casper gets reckless trauma. Like what happens? Is it like reckless?
So we'll
squared?
probably need to have a discussion about that, Croy.
I need to count why I thought I went into trauma. I need to double check that on the VOD. I think.
Yeah, because I mean, if you've not, that's fine. It's not a problem. I think it's a good place to leave it anyway because it's getting because of the time. So yeah, and then we'll have a look. We'll count back. I need to figure out what's going on with the character portrait thing as well. So but yeah, okay, we'll leave it there. That was
Yeah.
unexpected.
It's a
It
job
was
well
going
done,
so
team.
well, and then it just
No, it wasn't
suddenly all
going
went
that
to
well.
shit.
It wasn't going so well, Anne.
You
Uber
nearly killed
profesh-
someone jumping on their
profesh-
heads.
What?
Poor old
I mean-
Nicholas.
Yeah.
First week he
It's
was
got me
hanging
down
off
the building.
First week he's hanging off a bloody drain pipe, and then now
Yeah.
he's been
The problem-
escorted out.
Yeah,
The,
he's
the
fine.
problem with Andy is Andy's trying to find ways to kill people without being directly responsible for their death. I can see the machinations.
Yeah, I think we need to check that stress thing, Croy,
Yeah.
because that seemed to go up really quick.
Go back on the VOD, you'll have to do it.
Yeah, that's
Yeah. Only a few hours.
Yeah.
I might have
Okay,
taken
guys.
2 for the
However,
damage and then
yeah.
whatever.
actually, Croy, I might have to discuss something with you in a moment.
Oh God,
Okay.
I'm going to bed then because you lot
Yeah.
will be up for hours.
Yeah, wow.
That just went, didn't it?
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
going so
Oh,
Look at
well.
those
And we-
failed rolls.
And we can all
Failed,
thank
failed,
Jade,
failed.
who has
Those
been
rolls were
jinxing
cool.
us for the last half hour.
Yeah, I would like to say there was
Thank you,
a very
Jade.
specific post just before everything went terribly wrong.
Thank you, Jade.
You're like,
All right.
this rate should
So-
be rolling once in like 5 minutes.
We'll check that and make sure that Croy is dead or
Yeah.
alive, and we'll be back.
He
with
won't be
Blades.
dead.
He won't be dead.
He'll be
Someone
somewhere in
back.
between.
We're back
God.
with Blade.
I've just had a thought, which might be quite cool.
I could turn him into a vampire. What?
I'm not dead yet. I'm not dead yet.
You don't need to be dead to be a vampire. You just have to make Angie jealous.
Okay.
Oh my god. Who's that?
Right, we're gonna be back. Blades will be back on not this Friday coming, the Friday after.
Friday, the 5th of March.
Yeah, Friday.
And we find out what's happened to Slip.
Yeah. I've got.
Yeah, so that's
I've
not.
got a week
so,
off.
Yeah, so 3 weeks.
Oh
3
my
weeks
god.
till
What, this
Friday.
next week?
Yeah, I'm not playing any games apart from Monday. That's not streamed, so you'll not see me on stream.
Yep.
Until
'cause
the
there's
next Blades game.
Something afoot going on in Masters.
Mutants.
Yeah,
and
Masters and
Mutants.
Mutants.
You carry on.
They're
Mas-
all
Mas-
right,
on a
aren't they?
roll.
Yeah, Masters and Mutant Minds.
We're gonna rename
Game.
it.
Monsters
We'll
and
rename
Mayhem.
Monsters and Mayhem. That was great
And
when I called it Monsters
Just
and Mayhem.
just call it M&M. Just.
Uh-huh.
I just
Yeah.
think of sweets when I say that.
Yeah,
Masters and Mutants.
you'll get it right
Before we
then.
name
You'll
it.
get it right.
Yeah, so catch us here next Saturday for Mutants and Masterminds.
Minds.
Mutants and
M&M.
Masterminds.
Masters
Yeah.
and
M&M.
Minds.
I think is
Mason
it this
Monsters.
Friday we're doing those stuff? This Friday?
No, it's questions and answer thing.
Q&A.
This Friday.
Yeah, fight.
Who's on the Q&A?
I haven't sorted yet, which I'll sort tomorrow.
What is the Q&A?
We don't
Chat.
know.
We
Who's in the
don't
Q&A,
know.
chat?
Yeah.
I might do it.
It's just going to be.
We might do a question poll in
Yeah.
Discord tomorrow and see what
Ooh.
people want us to talk about.
It's just going to be infinity. It'll be truth or dare.
Yeah. So thank you everyone for watching. Thank you again for all these
Yes.
subscribers and the followers and the bits and yeah. Thank you so much, guys. We're gonna throw you over to somebody else now. Who might be better? You never know. Yeah, we're gonna go throw you over to Dice Priory, who is playing the Expanse tabletop role-playing game. Now, this is one that Mark's interested in, and he might be
I'm not-
buying
I
I don't
this
give a
soon.
shit.
Infinati!
Yes, Anjo.
Angina.
No,
Jesus.
no. Right, we're going. Thank you
Oh,
very much.
angina is
Personal.
not a sexually transmitted disease, I'll have you know.
It's a problem up with your heart.
Exactly. Thank you very much.
God's sake!
Jeez.
Thank you very much.
Go
everyone.
pack up your grey screen and go home. You're getting angry.
Oh, here we go. Oh, here we go. Oh, it had to start, didn't it?
Oh God! Just go for the raid. Go for the
Bye.
raid.
3888 on Amazon.
Yeah, spam
See you next time.
Spam the emote for us. Say hi. Follow them if you can.
Get Dennis going.
See you guys later.
Frank.
Bye.
Frank.
Bye.
Dennis.
Yeah.
What's his name? Frank.
Dennis.